Well, not film.
Cole.
Right.
It's another week of Beyond the Screen.
Yet another week of Beyond the Screen here with our film news and our Doofenshmirtz impressions and whatever else you might want from us.
Yeah, well, honestly, anything. If you just leave it in the comments, it'll probably happen. So just,
Like we
discuss.
will say anything you want. Actually,
I wouldn't
like
say anything, but I'd say pretty close.
if you pay us enough.
Yeah,
We'll be dropping our Cash Apps and Venmos once this episode is over. So stay tuned.
yeah. Um, but in all true fashion, welcome to what is this, 6? I think it's finally happening. We're starting to lose count.
This is
Um,
episode 6.
yes. So, Cole, how are you? Small talk before we begin.
I'm well. I've been basking in the sun all day. Took a nice swim earlier. Um, I had a couple sandwiches earlier, some cheese sandwiches. Yes.
Like grilled cheese or just like cheese?
No, I'm talking like a cheese sandwich.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever had just a cheese sandwich, unless you count a grilled cheese.
Oh, you're missing out.
I'm gonna.
Once you cook it becomes something different
Yeah.
altogether.
Right.
It's no longer a cheese sandwich.
Yeah. Interesting. I might have to try that out. Yeah. As we discussed, the importance of basking in the sun pre-recording.
Yeah, get that vitamin D in. You're
Got
feeling
to.
good, son. You're feeling great.
Yeah. So with
Your
that,
body. Oh, but we digress. So with that,
yes, with that, and our vitamin D, that's our PSA for this episode. Go get vitamin D. Touch grass. Um, do something. But with that, we start with box office winners. Cole, can you guess who won the box office?
you know what? Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
You would be completely correct. In its second week of release, its second weekend, it won over $61 million. In a close race, it beat The Bad Guys, who had 7. I'm being sarcastic. Yeah, so Doctor Strange in 2 weeks has already grossed almost $300 million.
Which at this point, most Marvel movies, this is the second week, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Most Marvel movies do a lot better numbers in the second week.
which
This
is,
one's fallen off quite a bit.
yeah, but still, like, with that actually does take us into our first bit of, like, it's a factoid. It is kind of newsy. This movie has beaten out movies such as The Winter Soldier, the first Doctor Strange, Shang-Chi, the first Captain America, and both of the Ant-Mans, among others. So it's still doing very well.
But you still have to, you know what? I'm playing devil's advocate here. You still have to realize that the longer this goes on, the more people are going to watch these movies. It might seem like they're falling in popularity post Endgame, with Phase 4, but the box office shows that this is definitely not the case.
Right.
More people are buying movie tickets than they were a couple of years ago. So I'm not going to say that at large this movie did better than things like Winter Soldier or Shang-Chi or movies like that. It's just it's a sign of the times, man.
I can agree. I mean, think about it like this. You just described this as like a kind of like a falling off. Like this is like, oh yeah, this movie's falling off. This movie will make over $350 million in box office revenue. Probably
Wow.
probably close to 400, which that's just domestic. Like that's not even accounting for worldwide gross.
Doesn't account for merchandising either,
No.
which is a huge part of these franchises, a massive part. I mean, I'm looking right now at my TV, right? I got Fortnite pulled up. You know, I might out myself here. I enjoy a game of the night every now and then. I get a Vic Roy probably once, twice a week.
Right.
And just the logo for Fortnite is there, and Doctor Strange is standing right there.
Yeah.
He's everywhere.
Oh no. And so I did pull up what its worldwide gross is with both international and domestic. Cole, do you want to hear the number that it's grossed so far?
Let's hear that number. Let's hear it.
$689,876,495.
Phew.
In
That
2 weeks,
that almost gave me some acid reflux, man. Like that's just so much money.
that is so much money. In 2 weeks for a movie
Yeah.
that we described as mid.
Mid. Yeah, it's not that good.
Yeah, like
It's okay.
It's okay. And I have a take on this later. I watched it a second time, and I can a little preview to what I'm gonna say later. It is everything we said it was last week. Like I thought maybe
Okay.
maybe a week after watching it and then seeing it a second time might change my mind. Maybe give it a little bit of a higher like volume. No,
So we weren't all out of pocket last week at all.
No, at least not to
Okay.
our opinion after seeing it a second time. Someone else might completely disagree, but like, it'll make close to $1 billion.
That's like a diaper company. Like that is $1 billion industry.
Yes.
Or probably the biggest excavation company
Yes.
in the US. You know what I'm saying? Like that's $1 billion industry.
Right.
Just one movie.
That's what I'm saying.
A sequel, a crappy sequel is going to make that much money.
Yeah.
Movies, business is a booming, cousin.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Like
business is a booming.
A just decent sequel film with A-lister stars in this universe, in this movie series, will gain close to $1 billion.
Jeez Louise. I mean, listen, I'm in college and I'm preparing myself to make movies in my life. So it's almost like in my mind, I'm like a guy in Texas who like is gonna be an oil man. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go out there and be an oil man.
Right.
The money's gonna blow away in the wind. I'll
Yeah.
make $30,000 in 1 year.
Yeah, yeah. I completely feel that.
Yeah, I feel like I might be rich one day just off of this.
I've said it before. I'm more of the screenwriter type. Like I want to be, and that's another take that I'm going to come up with later. But like even that, like just if you could get one good script penned, you get that sold, all of a sudden that opens the doors for more because people are like, "Oh, he got his sold." All of a sudden now, you've got two sold. You get two, you get three, and if just one of those are decent.
At that point, you're a career screenwriter.
Like
that's your job.
Yeah, like you
wake up and say, wait. You see your alarm clock and you're like, shoot, I slept in. It's already 7:30. Wait, I don't have a job. I just have to write the script.
Yeah. I will spend 3 hours of my day writing 15 pages today. and in a month,
and that's like progress.
Yeah, like in a month, maybe two, I will have close to 200 pages. I will submit it. They'll tell me to edit it, and in 3 months, this thing will be in pre-production.
Right. Yeah.
Like brother, that's a job.
Yeah, that's a job. And then the rest of the whatever, like 21 hours of your day, you could spend, like we said, catching up on some much needed vitamin D.
What I'm saying, like
living, loving, laughing,
touching grass, lifting some weights, getting some miles in.
Whew.
Like that's a life.
That the life.
Yeah. Any famous screenwriters out there who want to tell us that we're wrong, please drop a like. Tell us in the comments why we're wrong.
Oh, and don't get me wrong. We are wrong.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah. We're not correct here at all.
No.
Like, we're speaking completely out of our hind end.
Yeah, no, we're this is more of just a bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's still like, but in all honesty, like that is like a screenwriter's life, whatever that entails. That is something that if I can obtain it, I will never not be thankful.
Yeah. At the point of writing like 6 scripts, that's when you no longer make reservations for dinner. You make reservations for lunch, baby.
Right.
Yeah. You're having lunch at these restaurants.
Pixar is wanting to call you about animating one of your scripts. Like, brother.
My God, them again?
Yeah. Well, what's funny, I bring up Pixar, and it's funny you have that reaction, because they actually have announced their newest film, released with I keep wanting to say, like, pictures. What am I thinking of? Not stills.
Like claymation?
Concept art. There we go. Concept art.
Oh!
Sorry, yeah. Sorry. No, I don't know why that escaped my head. They released concept art and the title of their newest movie called Elemental, which is essentially Waterboy and Fire Girl the movie. Do you remember?
Oh! Let's go! Let's go, dude! Waterboy and Fire Girl the movie. That's exactly what this is. Like I played that game, dude. You were in You're in elementary school, right? Yeah. There's a cute girl in the class. You know, she's wearing a little bow. She's got a nice little handbag. She has real nice handwriting. You're in the computer lab. You got about 25 minutes to kill. She's like, come on over here, girl. Come on over here. You on that WASD today. I'm going to do you up right. We're playing Waterboy and Fire Girl.
Bro, the game back at elementary. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. You stick your piece on WASD.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Magic might happen, man. Like you might finish the game in that 25 minutes.
Listen, dude, in that 25 minutes, you thought you found your wife.
Oh yeah.
Like you're like, oh my gosh, I'm marrying this woman.
Yeah, there's people now.
You're 8 years old.
Those were the moves. You have to do if you like, listen, I have a girlfriend, so does Ryan, so we are not in the game anymore. But we,
No.
we both obviously had to woo a woman
Right.
in order to get girlfriends. You can't just expect. You got to do something with your girl, right?
Right.
You got to go hiking. You got to be playing a game together. You got to have. You can't just expect to hang out
Right.
and just fall in love. It's all about finding each other through the vessel of what you're doing.
Cole, I have a question for you. Speaking
What's
of relationships, so I took Ashley on our first date. Can you guess what I took her to go do? Knowing me.
Watch a ball game or see a movie.
We watched a movie. We went.
Ah!
I was like, cause I'm the exact same now as I was then, and I was like,
Yep.
"Yo, you want to go see the new what was it? It Chapter 2?" And she was like,
Oh!
yeah. And 2 years.
See, I had
and 8 months later, here we are.
Nice. I had a girlfriend back in the day. It wasn't really a girlfriend. She was more like playing with my heart,
Oh,
Like I was
yeah,
I was
feel
the
that.
I was the real loser, but I wasn't, you'll understand kind of how I, saw it here in a second when I tell you. But she was like, we're gonna go watch It Chapter 2. We're gonna go watch It Chapter 2. I am so excited to go watch It Chapter 2 with you. We're gonna go this Friday. At that point, it had already been out for 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
I was going to UK, and one of my friends came up to UK for the weekend, or for maybe like the end of the week, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna hang out. We're gonna go watch a movie tonight. And I got to that theater. I saw that It Chapter 2 poster. I said, you know what? I think I'm gonna go watch this movie
Okay.
without the girl.
Oh no.
So I went and watched that movie without her. Went home, told her I watched Shaw and Hobbs, and she believed me. So she's like, okay, Friday comes around, let's go see this movie. So I went and saw it twice. I had to fake the whole time like I'd never seen it. We walked out. I was like, oh, that was a trip. That was
it's spooky.
shocked. Yeah. Oh, I'm shaking in my shorts.
No, dude. Listen, I'm not no judge. That's hilarious. I love it. And she had no idea. She's listening to this
clue.
right now,
No.
like gasping.
No, she's not. She is not. She will never listen to this. This could be a $1 billion industry, this podcast. She will never hear it.
Well, if you're listening, Cole's girlfriend from the past, he didn't watch that movie with you originally. And
Yeah, wear
I
more
know
deodorant too.
it's breaking your heart, but okay.
Yeah, like hygiene.
Yeah. So here we go. So moving on to our third, or is this fourth? I don't even know. Our next piece of cinema news is about as absurd as everything we've discussed so far. Elizabeth Banks is leading a film titled Cocaine Bear.
Oh!
Yeah.
Is it gonna be filmed in Kentucky?
I don't know.
Oh.
The film will star Kerry Russell, Ray Liotta, Alden, I think it's Ian Reich, O'Shea Jackson, and Jesse Tyler Ferguson, with the release date set February 24th of next year.
Who'd you say? Alden? He plays Han Solo.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Aaron Reich?
Aaron Reich, something like that. I know who he is. I just don't know how the heck to say his name. I apologize. That's another person watching this show that's just disappointed.
Hey, he does a great job as Han Solo.
He does.
I'll always say that.
He does.
Who else did you say? Ray Liotta?
Yep.
Ray Liotta?
Ray Liotta.
I love Ray. I don't think I've ever seen. I'm sure I've seen a couple of his movies, but I mean, Goodfellas. Like, I think he made that one, and he was like, "Yeah, I've already submitted myself as like one of the greats." I'd say he's spent most of his life swimming in the pool, drinking a cocktail.
Dude, that guy's still making money off of the movies he made 20, 30 years ago.
I'm sure he's made some like mega hits, and I just am ignorant.
Well, okay, obviously Goodfellas. He was in The Many Saints of Newark.
Oh yeah,
The Sopranos.
The B movie
Sequel. Yeah, he was in the B movie.
Yeah.
Hannibal.
Field of Dreams.
yeah.
Oh, Killing Him Softly. He plays a great role in Killing Him
Was he
Softly.
I don't remember him in John Q, but it's been a hot minute since I've seen John Q. Yeah, he was. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was Chief. The Chief. Whatever his name was. I can't think of it.
Oh, he's a lawyer in The Marriage Story.
Oh, really?
Or just Marriage Story, yeah.
Dude,
I think he was a lawyer. seen
sidebar.
that movie,
I
like,
didn't
3
realize that John Q was hated by Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't know what that is.
John Q is a
It's about John Quincy Adams.
No. It's a Denzel Washington movie about a dad trying to save his son because his son has like a heart issue, And I don't want to spoil it for you because you haven't seen it, but he goes to drastic measures to save his kid, and it's actually very good. Um, but the ending does kind of leave you like, what? You're kind of confused, but like, I mean, I shouldn't say it like that. You just gotta watch it. But yeah, it's got a 23% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I've seen that movie a couple times, and I think it's better than 23%.
Okay, you've seen it a couple times.
Yeah, I have.
Really tugs on the heartstrings. Then I assume
It does to an extent. My family's really big into it, so just over the years, I've seen it.
Is it anything like The Blind Side?
No,
Nothing.
no. Lot different than The Blind Side. This kid is young, like young kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. We'll look that up right quick on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
And I will put that on my watch list.
Do it.
Actually, won't. I don't think I want to see that.
That's another. Okay.
I'm sorry. You know what the premise made me think of? I don't know if you've seen this like Twitter thread or whatever. And this is like, I don't mean to be getting political, but this is really funny. It's like some dude named Jesse Kelly. I guess he's probably like, I don't know. He's probably some crazy dude in politics. He tweeted, "Why do I need an AR-15? Because someday the government may tell me that I'm not allowed to put my sick son on a plane and fly him to Italy for treatment. And believe me when I tell you, I will be putting him on that plane." It's like such a strange thing to say.
So that's like I don't understand how that's relevant to anything. Like,
oh, it's just like a sick son.
No, I get it. No, I get why you connected it to John Q. I'm just saying, like, the statement he made is just so out of pocket.
Yeah, somebody commented, "I need an AR-15 in case I need to hijack a plane to fly my son to a country with socialized health care."
Well, yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's just somebody opening the obtuse rubber goose green moose guava juice, you know, just saying stuff.
Yeah, really, just to be getting a reaction.
Yeah, that's what it is.
All
Twitter.
Wait, politics, Cole. We gotta move on.
Oh, yeah.
No. Next
more
up,
politics.
Tom Blythe is cast as young President Snow in the Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Oh, let's see what Tom Blythe looks like.
We talked not that long ago about on the show about the absolute just gold mine of movies and story and lore that the prequels to
of course
the Hunger Games can have, and the fact that they casted this well, because I love this. I think it's a great casting.
He's a young guy. Like, so he was a victor, I assume.
I would assume. Well, here's the thing too, is that President Snow, I thought that this was starting before the Hunger Games. Like, I was assuming that this was like 76 years in the making leading up. But the fact that this is President Snow, and I don't think President Snow is that old, right? How old was he in the movie?
I'm thinking 60.
Then there's no way. So he would have to be a victor. Because when I went into this, when I saw it, I was assuming this was like the story of how the Hunger Games became a thing.
Right.
But this is like how President Snow became a thing almost. Is what I'm assuming.
And President Snow is a phenomenal villain. Mm-hmm. A phenomenal villain, actually. Like, he's pretty great. And I'm looking up, the guy that plays him is Donald Sutherland, and he's been in everything.
Oh, I know that he's everywhere.
I don't know his name, but it's like I dream about this guy.
Oh, okay. Really. So I just looked up. I went to look up how old is President Snow in the Hunger Games, thinking I was going to get the old man, and what popped up was 18 years old, and I was like, what do you mean? And so it's the new movie. Yeah, this was giving me the synopsis of the new one to come out. So he's 18 in the one that's coming out, but that's not what I'm looking for here. So President of Panem, so in the books, this is kind of the lore. He was the president of Panem since the 20th Hunger Games at the age of 23.
Okay, so this guy is like, he's a 23-year-old ruler. So whatever he pulled at the Hunger Games that he was in, it must have been some real slick type of crap.
Okay, so wait, think about it like this too. So we can do some math and figure out how old he is in the movie, because when Katniss Everdeen gets there, she is... it's the 74th. The first one's 74. And then the second one's 75. So what did we say? It was a 20th Hunger Games? Let me go back.
It was 55.
Yeah.
Plus whatever you said, 8.
He was 23 whenever he got to be president. So he was close to his 80s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Old man.
Yeah. Been doing it for a long time.
Catching Fire was the best one. Would you say Catching Fire is the best one?
I would agree. I'm a I don't know. I'm a big thing of like the originals. I love like the first because it's what sets the standard, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to say, but I will admit I did enjoy Catching Fire more. But Hunger Games is very close. So
I
my
like it when
brother,
Rue dies.
yeah, my brother is a big Hunger Games fan. He read the books multiple times, and he would argue because I asked him about this the other day because I didn't know because I haven't read the books. And I was like, "What are the books kind of like the movies to where like they get like the first two are good and the last one's bad?" He said, "No, all the books are really good. The problem is that they made the wrong movie two parts." He said that Catching Fire should have been part 1 and part 2, and what was the last one called? That one should have been
Mockingjay.
Mockingjay. Mockingjay should have just been one movie.
I don't remember the Mockingjay movie. Like
Yep.
I just when I think of it, it's just blank.
So I'm saying there are two parts to it, and that's the problem. Is that the story?
Oh yeah.
The story, because like when he thought about it, like that was exactly the problem I had with the third one or the third and fourth ones was that the story's so drawn out and like there's so little to go off of to have 90 minutes in each.
Well, and it's just such a different plot scenario for
Yeah.
Catching Fire in the first one versus Mockingjay, because Mockingjay is like a revolution film, right? Or a couple of revolution films. That's the story. They make it to the rebellion at the end of Catching Fire. So you have the first two that are just Hunger Games movies. It's like the Purge. It's like kind of a gimmicky little violent scenario, and then although good, yeah, they're really good. And then the third one's like it's just doing all kinds of stuff. I remember reading the books when I was young, and they were like running away from like velociraptors in the book.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, no, bro. This is the Hunger Games. Like this is not Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park.
Hey, that's one that's coming out soon.
Oh.
Jurassic World.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Goldblum. I just anything with Goldblum in it, man. Like me and him channel the same energy, or at least I hope we do. Because a lot of people who think that they give off Jeff Goldblum vibes are really just creepy, right?
Right.
So maybe a happy medium is where you want to be at. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and I think this is a good point to move on to our next one because you said Jeff Goldblum, and someone who gives me kind of a similar Jeff Goldblum vibe is a guy who was cast in a movie very recently. Dune 2 has found 3 new actors to play 3 very important characters. Florence Pugh, Austin Butler, and Christopher Walken join the sequel.
See, Butler and Florence Pugh, like, you could have seen it coming. You know what I'm saying? They just wanted to be with their friends, Zendaya and Chalamet.
Mm-hmm.
They just wanted, they were like, oh, of course we're putting you guys in this movie. We got to put in Pugh and Austin Butler in.
Right.
They're probably all doing drugs together. I think. I don't know what they're doing. But
what do you mean?
I just think that they're young. That's what they're doing. It's going to be a huge thing.
Okay.
In the future.
All right.
The wild side of Hollywood in the early 2020s. But Walken, I love Christopher Walken. I do, and like I'm not saying I love him as an actor. Like I want to like meet him.
Yeah. No, that's it's like what we were talking about with Jeff Goldblum. He just seems so laid back and just so fun to be around.
He's a harsh man, but he's an intelligent man.
Right.
He plays. I like him in Click.
Yeah, his character in Click was very nice. We talk about Click more than once on this show.
I talk about Click maybe every day.
Yeah.
I talk about Adam Sandler. I legitimately think once a day.
Why Adam Sandler? Just a big fan?
Yeah, cookie.
Right.
Whatever. I don't know. That's probably not the best impression. Sorry, guys.
No, it sounded good.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think Adam Sandler was like in the studio?
Yeah, I was like, bro, Adam Sandler's like a relative or something. This man's right here in his room as he's recording.
I'm on FaceTime with Adam.
Now. Yeah. Little did I know.
You were none the wiser.
Yeah, so I think what we're going to do now, because that's really it for the Dune 2 cast. I think I'm going to go through a few that don't need much elaboration, because we're quickly approaching 30 minutes in our first segment, and we have more to talk about.
Oh, yes.
So, quick ones we got going right now. Richson? Richson? I can't pronounce his name. Has been added to the Fast X lineup. Not much to talk there. The next Monsterverse film will star Dan Stevens. Have no idea how they're going to pull that off after the last one, big monkey fight big lizard. Um,
Oh,
and now we're gonna see something new, supposedly.
maybe we'll see like I don't know, like Mecha Godzilla.
Maybe, I don't even know.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm not saying I dislike the MonsterVerse. I just don't know what else you're gonna do.
I haven't seen much of the MonsterVerse really. Oh, there's a lot they could do. Like, trust me, they've made hundreds of these movies.
That is true.
We've got here. Look up. They've got like Godzilla against Mecha Godzilla, Godzilla against the comic monster, Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla 2, Terror of Mecha Godzilla, Godzilla Tokyo SOS. I mean, that's just.
I have a feeling that they like Mecha Godzilla because that's like 3 that you just named and 5 like titles that have Mecha Godzilla.
I like Mecha Godzilla.
It's a cool concept.
Do. Well, I actually think that they fought Mecha Godzilla in Godzilla versus Kong. They did.
Yeah, but I know they did, but
yeah, I didn't know that. I've never seen the film. There's a lot of movies that I've just not seen.
I'm in the same boat, and that's why we're doing this. We're growing cinephiles. We're not straight up just yet.
Yeah, guys, just understand that we're on this journey with you.
Yes. Other news happening: the Moon Knight producers have joined the upcoming Fantastic Four project that has yet to name a director, John Krasinski. And that's where I'll leave that one. Let me see here. What else we got here? Jerry Bruckheimer, this is a big one, reveals the penning of a new Pirates of the Caribbean script, which will star none other than Margot Robbie.
Oh, Margot Robbie!
Yeah.
Margot Robbie! I actually sat on my front porch the other night. I saw this news. It came on Instagram or something, and I like imagined how I would imagine my version of a Margot Robbie Pirates movie, and I drew a blank. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but
I think the interesting part to add to this too is that Bruckheimer didn't rule out the return of Johnny Depp, and
Johnny Depp ruled that out.
Apparently, we'll see. I really don't think never is never. You never know. He did say he wouldn't take a $300 million, but we'll just have to see. I think if the script's good enough and if the money's good, I do think he would take it just because of how much fun he had with the role. Just from in the movies to even like all those clips of him in like children's hospitals messing around and like playing with the sick patients, just having fun, just brightening their day. So I can't. I know what he said, but I can't imagine him not taking the role if he thought it was back to the roots. You know what I mean?
Okay, so if they recast Jack Sparrow, or we'll say if there was another like lead male pirate, who would you cast?
I have no clue. Because if it's Jack Sparrow, I'm not watching it. There's only one Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, but if they're like, oh, this is Jack Sparrow, he looks different. It's
right
now.
Like I really I don't think I would watch it just because I would be so turned off by it. It's like the same reason people didn't want to watch I guess this is still Johnny Depp, but the latest Fantastic Beasts. Nothing against Mads Mikkelsen, he's one of the best actors in the world, but it's just the guy in the role before him was so good at it that it's almost like now that it's different, it's a different character.
It's very dumb, actually. Very, very dumb.
Yeah, so I don't know who else you'd get in there. Trying to think of who I would like to see across from Margot Robbie. That's a great question. I don't know.
Florence Pugh.
Timothy
Chalamet, Zendaya.
Literally, what's hilarious is that both Timothy Chalamet and Florence Pugh hit my head, but I was like, nah, they're in everything. I don't think people would want to see them in that as well, but they would be all right.
Wait, who's the girl from Lady Bird?
Florence Pugh, especially.
Saoirse Ronan. Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah,
like the girl from Lady Bird. She's in everything now.
Yeah. No, I think Florence Pugh is a good one. That you said that one earlier, and I think like just the acting chops on both Margot Robbie and her together would be ridiculous.
Hey, you know who I like? This is not pertinent to anything. You know who I like a lot? Probably my favorite actor, I'm gonna say. Jesse Plemons.
Really?
I think Jesse Plemons is a good. Jesse Plemons?
Let me look at. I know the actor. I need to remember what he was.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. A movie. Oh, The Power of the Dog. He was in Breaking Bad a little bit.
He shot a kid in Breaking Bad. Like he shot a child.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was one of the most like harrowing scenes.
Yeah. I can't
Yeah, Jesse
say
Plemons.
I can't say I know his face. I can't say I know him specifically. Like I recognize him. He looks kind of like what's that comedian's name?
Jim Gaffigan.
Jim Gaffigan. Yeah.
Does look like Jim Gaffigan. What else was he in? Power of the Dog. I'm thinking of ending things. Antlers. I saw both of those this year. Black Mass. Saw that the other day. The Irishman. Saw that about a year ago. Judas and the Black Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
The Master. A lot of the movies that I've seen like this year. Vice. All have Jesse Plemons. He's in a great. He's in Fargo. 1996 Coen Brothers film Fargo has Jesse Plemons in it. Wow. You ever seen Fargo?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Which of the Coen Brothers movies have you seen?
You know what? So this is something I was going to discuss off the show, but on the show, since we're here, I think the Coen brothers. So we have an idea of who's going to be next month, but the Coen brothers, I think, have to come soon
Sure. I would say
because
so.
they fit into the directors we're looking for, just in the creators. And let me go to films directed because I'm trying to see. Obviously, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I've seen multiple times. I've seen The Big Lebowski. The Ballad of
No
Buster
Country for Old
Scruggs.
Men.
Yeah. Yes, I have seen that one. Um,
Love it. Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
that's about yeah. What I was about to say. I don't know if that one looks familiar, but I don't remember it. I need to watch No Country
It's
for
an
Old Men again.
anthology. But Buster Scruggs is like a 4-parter.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a 5-parter. It's star-studded cast. I mean, it's got a lot of people in it. It's awesome. Yeah, there's six endings. And some of them are comedies. Some of them are just some of the deepest and most provocative things you've ever seen. Like it's very grim. It's very dark. Uh, but it's Coen Brothers through and through. You think about a Coen Brothers anthology western, that's exactly what you get with Buster Scruggs.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
it's
that's.
goofy.
Did they do Raising Arizona?
They did.
Wow. Okay. So yeah. See, they've done even more than what I thought.
Yeah, Raising Arizona. One of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah. No, we definitely got to do a Coen Brothers month very
Yeah.
soon.
Speaking of that, last night had some friends over. Had my girlfriend over. My roommate had two of his friends over. We sat down. We watched Mandy.
Oh
Mandy.
yeah.
Yeah. You talk about a movie.
Dude,
Probably, I'm gonna say top 5 for me. Mandy.
really? See, that's one
I
of.
love it.
It was one of the direct-to-release movies that Nick Cage made, an independent movie, but that was very well received.
Oh my god. Oh, have you seen it?
No, no. The ending.
Oh,
I kind of know the ending scene because like it's so jarring. I don't know what leads up to it. I just know Nick Cage in blood smiling at somebody is a terrifying thought.
oh, that's the best shot in the film.
Oh yeah, it looked beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's how I found out about this movie was a guy was one of my buddies and the same coworker I was talking about earlier. He had watched it and he was trying to describe to me that scene and how it like scarred him, like it terrified him. And
Yeah.
that was my introduction to this movie. He was like the last scene. He didn't describe anything else. He was like, I don't want to spoil it, but the last scene looks like this, and he pulled up the scene for me, and it is quite literally like disturbing.
Let me find it here. It's just Nick Cage. Oh my god, yeah. It looks like if this image came out in like 2012, it would be like one of those like creepy pasta things.
Oh, most genuinely.
Yeah. Like, oh, but it's wonderful.
I mean, it looks for those that don't know, it's Nick Cage in a car staring at the passenger seat, and he looks like he just got like pranked, like Carrie did in the movie.
It's covered in blood.
Yeah, just
And
drenched.
he's smiling at his dead wife. His wife is not there,
Okay.
but he's smiling at his dead wife. And she was killed maybe 45 minutes prior in the film.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a harrowing tale of vengeance. Not harrow. I don't know why I use that word all the time. It's a gory tale of vengeance. It really is.
Yeah. No, that one's I've made a list, and that one's going on it.
I saw a review that said if this movie was any more metal, they would have to mine it from the earth.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's hardcore.
Yeah. And with that, I mean, I know once again this happens every week. We always go with the
Yeah.
news, and we always go on a side tangent about anything kind of related. Um, but with that, we have ended the news and the big things happening. But actually, I just saw something. I'm a liar. I'm a dirty liar because I just pulled up because I have the news saved on my phone, and as I pulled it up to make sure I didn't miss anything, um, I saw something that was just recently reported about Ryan Johnson's Star Wars trilogy.
Okay.
Lucasfilms reports that it is on hold indefinitely
Good. Yeah. Get
because
that out
he
of here.
he is busy. It's on
Oh,
the back burner, and he's been unbelievably busy with Knives Out and the deal that he made with Netflix. So on as of right now, it's on hold, not canceled. But for any big Star Wars fans like ourselves, Cole, you just said, "Thank God."
yeah. I don't care about Ryan Johnson. I really don't.
Really?
Yeah, I'll be touching on that later. I've decided that, yeah, Ryan Johnson, I'm not into it. Looper, okay. I mean, it's good, but like, well, he directed Rogue One too. I forgot about that. So
You're not a big Knives Out guy?
save it. We'll save it for here in
Okay.
a minute.
All right, all right, all right. Well, and so with that, we will go ahead and end our first segment. And here we are, segment 2. One of my favorites, recently added, the brainchild of our very magnificent co-host Cole. 5 film slash TV takes.
5 takes.
5 takes in general. It's kind of fun to delve deep into each other's psyche about certain things.
We call it the lightning round.
Let's go! But it's not really a lightning round because if it was lightning, it'd be the slowest lightning ever because
This is more like static round.
yeah, like you can get it wherever, but like it's still fun to play with.
Get ready for an hour and a half of film news, film opinions. We'll try to go quick.
Yes, we will. So first, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and say my first one. I said it earlier. Doctor Strange 2 watched it, and we discussed the power scaling last week. Oh, I guess I should preface too. So before taking my girlfriend to go watch the movie, she wanted to watch the latest Spider-Man No Way Home again because it kind of leads in, it kind of doesn't. And I was like, okay. So we watched that. The next night we go and watch Doctor Strange 2. And remember last week how we were describing how Doctor Strange's power scaling is really weird?
It's really messed up.
Yeah.
He's like weak 1 minute, and then the next minute he just dunks on somebody.
Right. Wait, we discussed how like he lost to certain people he shouldn't have, and then he can fight Thanos whenever, and he can like kind of hold his ground and do whatever. We forgot one battle that he lost in a recent movie. He couldn't beat Spider-Man in the mirror dimension.
He couldn't, could he?
Nope, he got beat by Spider-Man in the mirror dimension.
That's right.
And so with that,
and like that's the first time that Spider-Man had been to the mirror dimension.
right, he did some sort of geometry and trapped Doctor Strange for 12 hours in the mirror dimension, as if Doctor Strange isn't the master of the mystic arts and doesn't have control with that entire dimension with just the flick of his pinky.
What are they doing?
That's
what
what
are they
I'm saying.
doing in the writing room?
That's what I'm saying.
What goes on in there?
That's what I'm saying. And so with that, I have this take. Doctor Strange is lame. He's lame.
He is lame.
He's my
I think
favorite.
he's lame.
He is my favorite hero right now. Like it was Iron Man. Iron Man kicked the bucket. Now it's Doctor Strange. I love Benedict Cumberbatch. I think the character has a lot of depth. But he's so stupid. His power can be lame. 1 minute, like I've yet to see a movie outside of his battle with Thanos where I've been like, now this guy's powerful. Like I'm always left wanting more, and especially so after this second movie. It's a little better, but regardless, the coolest thing he did was play music with magic and throw it at himself.
I don't have much to say. He is lame. He's losing his personality too. Like I felt like in Multiverse, he had none of the personality that he has in the original Doctor Strange film.
Right. I don't know, man. And I that might not.
He's not witty.
I know that
he used to be
not
witty.
Like, oh, I know. I know this take isn't necessarily one that's gonna like cause the seas to rise and to boil. But this I had to say it. So it's annoying to me because, like I said, I love him. But it's so bad. All right, what's your take?
Nacho Libre.
Oh God.
It isn't funny.
Oh, okay.
It's
Wow.
not funny at all. I
Wow.
can't. I listen. Maybe. The reason I put this in here is because my memory has failed me. But you know what? I watched that movie about a month ago with my girl. I didn't laugh once. She like was doing the whole like she wanted to watch it, so I was like, okay, like yeah, I haven't seen that since I was a kid. It's like so funny. She did the whole thing where she like had to keep looking over and be nervous because I wasn't laughing when she was laughing.
That is sad.
It like put a bad vibe in the air because like I was definitely not enjoying it like she did. Maybe it's funny for like people who don't have developed brains when he goes like not sure like jumps around or whatever. I don't know what he does. He makes food really fast. He's a good waiter. I am too, bro.
No,
You know,
I
like
feel you. I mean, in that movie made by Nick, isn't it like a Nickelodeon movie?
it's a Nickelodeon movie. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've got a lot of like fond memories of Nacho Libre. Haven't seen it in a long time. I just know that I just described how mine won't cause like the pits of hell to open. That one might.
Yeah. Um, if you guys want to burn my house down, that's okay. Over this opinion.
No,
What's
don't.
your opinion?
Don't do it. So my second one, this one's more TV based, and like I described last week, the hype news about Doctor Who. There's been more, but because we're not a TV show, I left it out of the news. But I will recap it really quickly. The news that came out was that the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, and one of the best companions the show's ever seen, and a companion for those that haven't seen the show is the person who travels with the Doctor. Um, Catherine Tate's Donna Noble are back. They're back for a special. It's the 60th anniversary of the Doctor Who show next year, and so they're coming back and they're having their own scenes, maybe their own episode. We don't know. But all these stills have come out about he's wearing a new suit that doesn't look exactly like the suit he wore when he was like the main actor nonstop. And there's all these speculations. Like my own brother is going nonstop about what it could mean, about all these weird storylines it could take, and he's like getting frustrated that I'm not giving him speculations back because I am doing what I think everyone else should do and just be happy that the show is getting back to a point that it's enjoyable. Like, no one's just being like, oh, yes, we get to see this amazing actor and this amazing actress come back to play roles for a limited time that they got to play all the time back in the day. And the show's finally taking a turn that it's needed to take for the last decade, or maybe not decade, but 8 years. This is great. And then, but yeah, people want to poke holes in it. People want to like, why is he wearing a different suit? And it's just like, I don't know. I don't care. I will judge it after it's come out and I've seen it, not before.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about the franchise, but most people have a couple pairs, a couple outfits that they wear. You know,
Right.
it's like I don't wear the same clothes every day. I'm not a cartoon character.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing too. Is that like each episode, the outfit is like kind of the same, but there's always like some sort of variation about it. Um, like the 10th Doctor was known for wearing this long tan like trench coat.
Oh, there was another one that had a scarf, right?
Yes, that one's like the old one. That's the
Yeah.
4th Doctor. That's Tom Baker. But in the stills that have come out from the sets, the 10th Doctor is wearing like this like not as long, still kind of long, like navy blue / black coat, and it looks like a plaid suit. And people are making this big deal about it as if, like some of the things I've heard is like this is going to be an alternate universe Doctor, or he's an evil version of the Doctor. And I'm like, why can't he just be the Doctor? Like, why can't he just wear a different suit? I don't understand. Like, just like why can't he? I'm very frustrated by it because I don't want to speculate because I want to enjoy it. Because if I speculate it, I'll think of something I don't like, and then I'll stress about it.
That's how I am. I do the same thing. Like if I just sit there and mull over like an entry in a franchise that I really liked, I'll eventually come upon something that I don't like, and that's what I think about.
Exactly.
Like, oh, they could have done that better. They could have
Right.
done that better. It's like just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like the coat. Like as soon as you start watching this addition into the Doctor Who franchise, you're not going to be worried about the coat. You're going to be worried about the plot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so what? It's a coat. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it means that much. And exactly what you're saying. Like, I just think he's wearing a different outfit. I don't think it's that big a deal.
Yeah, worry more about like you got your bills paid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you're going to be worrying about thematic elements or narrative elements, I'm fine with that. But just don't be fanning out so much that you're worried about a daggone outfit.
Yeah, and it's okay to speculate. Like it's fun to try to on like a minor level try to think about ways that the story could go. But when exactly what you're saying, when you're taking an outfit the guy's wearing and that's what you're basing the entire plot of what could be happening off of, like that's such a baseless claim.
Exactly.
And I despise it. Like my brother, if he can hear me, because he's probably outside my room, like clenching his fist. Like there's nothing wrong with what he's doing. I just think it's so extreme that you don't enjoy it. That's my second take, and with that, I will pass the torch back to you. What's your second?
The Jackass films.
Okay, that was a long build up.
The Jackass films have far greater depth than most people say, or that most people would realize.
All right, hit me with it. Give me your reasoning behind this.
Well, I feel like these movies came around, and the Jackass franchise. I mean, there's shows, there's everything. It's a big deal. A lot of people really like it. So do I.
Right, they're fun.
They came around in the late 90s, early 2000s, right around the time when like the nation was starting to rot in suburbia. And you could see that seep through art. This is my biggest, it's one of my biggest theses about art of the time. And you look at movies made in 1999. I saw a point about this. Movies made in 1999 are all about complacency, right?
Right.
And they're all about the big ones. Office Space was one that came out in 1999. Fight Club came out in 1999. American Beauty came out in 1999. Phantom Menace does not apply.
No, it does not.
Doesn't at all. And these movies are all about breaking out of the conformity mindset of the 1990s and living by your true your true desires and wants, and living in this hedonistic or animalistic way, as opposed to the sterile lifestyle that's forced upon society.
Right.
The rat race. They're all about escaping the rat race, right? So you translate this idea to the Jackass films, and here you have a group of like 12 dudes, all in their like late 20s, early 30s, mid 20s, and instead of running the rat race, they are acting as animal, as beast. And that's the entire basis of all of these things. It's seeing how far these men can push their bodies and push the levels of comedy that they're making to make it as far from human as possible. Not really. I mean, they're not like doing any kind of weird stuff. They're more like hitting each other in the wiener, getting bit by large snakes.
Steve-O at one point did do a what is it called, a where you stick the tube in your butt and you pour beer down it.
A butt chug?
Yeah.
I did one of those one time.
I didn't need to know that, but now
I got a video of it.
Now our audience knows about it too.
Oh, well, it was. I'm not going to talk about it. It hurt. It hurt is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine. I've heard that, like, this is going to be the last to describe this, because this is not the point. But the point I was trying to make was that, like, it at points it is grotesque.
Well, maybe the films themselves don't have that much to say, but it's the existence of the films in the time. They are a product of their time, and that has a lot to say about the time that they were produced and filmed.
Yeah, which I think which makes what you say exactly like on the nose. They are deeper, because when you think about what's happening in society around it, not necessarily what's in it, it makes sense why it's a thing at all.
Right, because if you have a society that's everyone's walking around like Johnny Knoxville and Steve-O and hitting each other with big hammers on the head, we're living in this like Three Stooges alternate universe, then like no one's gonna watch Jackass because they could go right outside, right?
Right.
They could see it right out their window. So it has a lot. It juxtaposes how society wants young men to act, and the anarchism and the rebellion that they inspired in a lot of young people probably had a great great deal of effect on society now. I think that their influence was probably they probably had a breadth of influence, and it's probably far greater than most people realize.
Oh yeah.
Because when I got into that stuff, watching those, it really kind of pushed a whole punk rock thing in my life, right? Like I listen to punk music every day. Like it's my biggest genre. I do all kinds of wacky stuff. And like a lot of it's because like I saw how much fun those guys were having at, you know, when I watched those movies at a young age, and I was like, yeah, like I want to do these things. Like I want to be a part of the Jackass crew.
Right.
Like this is me. You know, there are a lot of people like me that really identify with these movies.
Yeah.
Some people identify with like Hallmark movies, you know, like a lonely woman who might not might have like problems with overeating, might watch like a Hallmark Christmas movie in like this time of year, like May, and
Right.
they're really inspired by it. It really, you know, releases some chemicals in their brain. Not me. It's like I want to see someone get hurt. I want to see somebody make a terrible decision, break a collarbone, chug a beer up the butt, something like that. Because that's the world that I live in, you know.
Right. And I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's always
Nothing
stuff.
wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean, people live the way they want to live in whatever ways that's fun for them.
I'm a stupid dude.
No.
No, I'm not stupid, but you know, some of the decisions that I make are very questionable.
Yeah. I mean, as with any human being.
Of course. But yeah, I hope I'm being articulate here with the point that I'm
No, I
trying to make.
completely understand, and I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I think it was very well said.
Well, thank you.
Oh, no problem. So with that, we'll move on to our third take here. And I talked about this a little bit earlier. I really think it. Okay, some preface. This all came because I was describing David Fincher to one of my coworkers, and I was trying to explain how Fincher, who's not a screenwriter, can still be hailed as the directing legend that he is. Because nowadays you have a lot of auteurs and you have a lot of guys that are like, I'm gonna write the screenplay, i.e., Robert Eggers, and then I'm going to create the movie. But with that, David Fincher is not that. He is a legendary director, but he is not a writer. None of
I'm
his
sure he
films.
is a writer.
Oh yeah, but he's not. None of his films he's written himself.
Right.
And so with that, I was trying to describe, I realized something that I felt like needed to be said, and it's my third point here. We need to give screenwriters more props than what they get. I know that there's an Oscar nomination for them, I know, but when you think of movies, can you tell me 5 screenwriters off the top of your head?
Probably not, man.
That's what I'm saying. I can't. But I could tell you 20, 30 directors off the top of my head.
Exactly.
And of
Most
those
people
30, how many of them
Most
actually
people,
write?
the average Joe who doesn't really even care about movies could tell you several directors.
Right. But
I mean,
one
they're
screenwriter.
stars. Directors are stars, and screenwriters they're workers.
Yeah. They're in the background. Like, they create the narrative that the story stands on. Without them, movies do not exist.
They create everything like that has to do with the plot of the movie.
Right. And like I don't want to say this to try to tear down directors, because they, like, obviously without their vision of what the script could be, it wouldn't exist either. But at the same time, without the writers, like there's nothing to do. So yeah, I'm a big
The writer is more important than the director.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would completely argue that.
I would argue it too. We'd have to look at many films.
Yeah.
We'd have to look at many scripts. But there is definitely a point to be made there.
Like, I want you to tell me where a movie, because of how well it was directed, was good despite having a bad script. It doesn't exist.
That's right.
If your movie has a bad script, it will not take off. It doesn't matter how good of a director you have.
Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
That's one. It's not a bad script.
Yep, but it's a beautiful movie.
Yeah, it's one of the best movies like out there. A terrible script.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a fluke there. That's an exception.
I would say that would be like an exception, like what you just said. But like,
Star Wars is so different though.
Yeah, like it doesn't happen unless it's like a franchise that is carried by namesake. And even then, that is such a weird thing to happen.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Like I agree wholeheartedly. A movie can if and I'll even take it further here. If a movie lacks any purposeful dialogue, if the dialogue seems like it's just there for the characters to be talking and it doesn't work deliberately to either further characterize a character to make a point or to push the plot along, then it's going to be a bad movie. It's a bad movie because
I
like
completely agree.
as soon as you just have characters talking just to be talking and one line doesn't either solidify something thematic in the film or you know doesn't say something about a character, then that's just when it falls short. You don't care. The audience doesn't care about whatever BS the unless it's a comedy movie.
No,
Or I mean, there are a few exceptions. Like comedy movies, like it's just it's for jokes.
Mm-hmm.
So they pretty much exist out of the realm of most cinema, actually. But yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
I do. And with that, what's your third take, my friend?
Third take. Let's talk about Knives Out.
All right, here we go.
It just doesn't. I don't know what I have to say about it, really. It's not like, okay, to back it up. I was at the Mexican restaurant the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nuevos here in Richmond, Kentucky. It's a wonderful establishment. Shout out to Nuevos. Eating, and at the table, like two ways down, there was like this mom, right? And you could tell she hadn't seen a lot of movies in her life. Talking to a lot of people that hadn't seen a lot of movies, and she was like, "Listen, there's this movie that we watch. It's called Knives Out. You get it? Called Knives Out. Just look it up. Knives Out." And like, I heard her saying that, and I was thinking, like, this movie has such an effect on people. And this movie has reached like so many more levels of popularity than any other like mystery or whodunit movie that I can think of. Right.
Right.
I mean, it's a phenomenon. Knives Out. They're doing sequels to it. Ryan Johnson. Everyone's so excited for it, and it's like, I mean, I didn't think it was like legendary. I didn't think it was just the most mind-bogglingly good movie that I've ever seen. I mean, yeah, it was good. It was great. But I actually had to leave when I saw the movie. I had to leave halfway through in the theater because I had to go to the hospital.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went in. I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast. I went into Knives Out with a broken hand. And I had to leave because I was like, yeah, my hand is like actually broken. I walked in and I could get my popcorn and I could get my drink fine. And then by about the time, about halfway through the film, I couldn't move my hand. I was like, yeah, somebody's got to pick me up.
Jeez.
I went and got her casted up that night. I watched it, I finished the movie. I've seen it probably twice since. And like, there's some great dialogue. It's some of the witty and fun and purposeful dialogue. But like, I think the plot kind of falls short for me about halfway through.
Interesting. See, because like I loved the movie, and I like everything you said, like purposeful dialogue, witty, and it was a good mystery. It was intriguing. I wouldn't say it was exactly like the biggest twist, because like you were made out to hate Chris Evans' character from the beginning.
Right.
Yeah. So it was like when it turned out that he was, was the whodunit.
You're like, oh, he had one little bit of redemption when him and Marta went out. I mean, they were pretty much partners there towards the end.
Yeah.
What are they doing? There's like a car chase and they're trying to get the wheel.
Yeah. So like oh gosh. Now you're really pulling at my memory banks here. They had, so Chris Evans' character had set up to where the maid of some sort had some information about the medical reports.
That's what it was. The medical reports.
Yeah, the autopsy. And because the autopsy had it that he didn't overdose. And
Right.
if they knew that, then her story falls flat. Or well, no, his story falls flat. Sorry.
Right.
And
Yeah. And then if they once they know that he did not overdose, then Marta, played by Ana de Armas, gets all the money.
yeah,
She gets everything.
yeah, and so yeah, so they're trying to make it out that she was a screw up and that yeah,
That she caused him to OD, but that was not the case.
yeah, and so that was what they were in the car for. Um, and then Chris Evans' character continues to burn down the police station,
Yeah.
which I will admit was kind of absurd.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe it's just a bit absurd for me. I like to see pathetic people though, like both in real life and on screen, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
there's an itch that's scratched in my head when I see like cringe, and then like the person who is applying the cringe loses,
Yeah.
and they realize that they are being cringe
Yeah.
or they are being pathetic, and like especially who's the girl from Halloween? What's her name?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis's character, like she plays that so well, just like a Karen who finally
Oh yeah.
lost for the first time in her life. And it really just, it was like somebody pouring cold water on my brain when I saw that. I was like, yes, yes, this woman is lost. And you know, the only morally non-reprehensible character, Marta, is the one that wins in the long run. So
Yeah. I I
but I
understand.
mean,
I know. I get what you're saying. There are some definite plot holes, but like it was fun. It accomplished what it was trying to accomplish, and it was smart. It was a smart movie.
it really was a smart movie.
Yeah, and so like I can understand the hype behind it. I can also understand why you're frustrated by it because people that like the average everyday viewer, they'll see it as one of the best movies ever when it's just not.
It's like you just because it's fun. Like there are much better movies that are much more fun.
Right. And so yeah, I can see both sides of that. I'm for one very excited for the sequel. I don't know about sequels. We'll have to see how the second one goes, but I'm very excited for the next one.
I feel like I'll go into the theater and watch it and then
Yeah.
come out and be like, that was a fun movie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get a tattoo of like the movie
Knives Out
ticket
2.
or anything. Yeah. I have the logo.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's not gonna be like that. I'm not gonna change my name to like Cole Ryan Johnson Ballinger.
Right.
But it's it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. So we're already at 25, 26 minutes. So to make this go, I'm gonna say my last two together in succession because they're not connected, but I'll give
That's
them
fine.
both to you so that we can, and then will you, if you want to do the same, um, so we can get through because we got two very good movies to talk about.
Very good.
Yes. So my fourth take, I want to see an original take on the Fantastic Four. Screw this, like they travel to space and they get hit by I don't even know what it was, some type of energy beam and they get powers. I want to see something new. I want to see something unique. That's my take.
You
Hey,
want to see something? I want to see something really street level with it, actually.
yeah, like give them like something that makes it almost believable.
Is there a Fantastic Four movie when they're like running from the paparazzi and like everyone's trying to like take their picture and hang out with them and
I
stuff, and
think
they're like
that was
running
in
away?
that was in one of the original two. The one where
I want
Chris.
to see like that kind of level. Like, what is it like to be a hero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and have to deal with like the everyday like struggles
Yeah.
of being a famous superhuman?
Yeah. Before I give my final take, I do wanna touch on that because it would be fun to see them kind of do the Spider-Man like start at street level type. Like, but
Okay.
also, do they skip the origin much like they did with Spider-Man because you already know it, and do they just get into where they're already heroes?
I want to see the origin.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want
They don't really do that a lot.
a unique origin. Like, I want something brand new, or at
Yeah.
least new to the MCU.
What would be a brand new origin?
I have no idea. I mean, Reed Richards is a smart guy without the powers, right? So he like I don't know, make him like a nuclear physicist of some sort, and he's like working on some sort of energy, and it could be kind of cliche. I'm just saying I want it new to where it's almost believable.
Okay.
Like maybe
Yeah.
he's like a doctor performing experiments, and some I don't like I'm not thinking too deep into this. The only depth that I'm going is I want something new.
Yeah, it's a very convoluted genre, as we've talked about in so much depth.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Yeah. And then my last one is, and I've said it before, but I want to express this: British actors, they are the best in the world, and you can't change my mind.
Sure.
You can't change my
Oh
mind.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Just from those on Doctor Who, I know I talk about Doctor Who a lot, but there are great, a lot of those that have like fanned out and done phenomenal things outside of that show. But then you think of guys like Idris Elba, Daniel Craig, what's her name? Coleman. Gosh, what's her name?
Coleman.
Her last name's Coleman. It's gonna bother me that I can't think of her name.
Wait, what's she in?
She was in Broadchurch and she's in a bunch of things. Hold on, give me a second. Olivia Colman, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Olivia Colman, Jonathan Bailey, who's in My Girlfriend's Obsessed with Bridgerton. He's also
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's a British actor. He's also in Broadchurch. He's phenomenal. And the list just goes on. Benedict Cumberbatch is British. Tilda Swinton's British. It's just like all these actors, like Peter Capaldi. Tom Hardy's British. Like all these actors that like I would literally put on my list of best in the world are all from the UK.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I get that. I love it. There's just something about the British accent. That's why I think the British Empire succeeded, and like why they could take over the world. Especially like, in like the 1700s. It's because like they show up and they're like, I don't know, bruv, and you're like, God, I'll give this guy anything.
Yeah. Oh, Christian
Whatever
Bale's
he wants.
British.
Christian Bale's British. Oh, really?
Yep. Tom Hiddleston's British. Michael Caine, Anthony Hopkins, Daniel Day-Lewis, Gary Oldman, Jude Law.
Daniel Day-Lewis and Gary Oldman.
Yeah. Judi Dench.
Gary Oldman.
Martin Freeman. Hugh Laurie. Henry Cavill.
Jeez.
Daniel Radcliffe. Like I
did not know that Gary Oldman was
Patrick
British.
Stewart, James McAvoy, John Hurt, Robert Pattinson, Ewan McGregor. Like the list just goes on.
I thought Ewan McGregor was Scottish.
Well, the UK. I'm including the UK. I should have said that. I might have said British. I mean, in the UK.
I see.
Let me look here. Gerard Butler, Paul Bettany, Rowan Atkinson. Like all these names, man. Like this is just me.
I like
Googling.
Paul Bettany. I love Paul Bettany.
Oh, same.
Yeah. Brits, man. They do it better, I think. I want to go to England.
Dude, there was a time where I wanted to live there, and I still kind of do.
Kubrick lived in England.
Yeah. Where he died.
That's where he died.
Yeah.
He had a big manor.
Yeah.
Beautiful manor.
Yeah. And that's
like I would, but I want to be rich in England because I want to be able to go for tea at any time.
I mean, you can go for tea at any time as a normal person. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I've got some tea bags in the kitchen. I might do that here soon.
I drink tea every day.
Really?
I do. I don't like. That's not even me. Like this was before I liked anything Doctor Who or like before I had any fascination with like just realizing how good actors were. Once again, I'm talking a lot about relationships today. My girlfriend loved tea, and I didn't really like give it a chance, and she made me try it, and I adore it now. I drink it every morning.
That's nice.
Yeah, there's nothing
what kind?
Sorry, what?
What kind?
So it is by Twinings. I don't know how else to describe them. They're the Twinings company, and they've come out with like their English breakfast is really good. Their Irish breakfast is awesome. They've made a few more.
I drink a nice raspberry tea from time to time.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. Very nice.
There's nothing like waking up in the morning. See, all I do is put milk in it. Like that. Like.
Oh, no sugar.
No, like I have I have there are these like those little Belvita breakfast things. And I will.
Oh, those are bomb,
dude.
Gosh, those are so good.
Yeah, so I'll grab a pack of those. There's like 4 of them in the pack, and I will go and sit. Sometimes if it's a really nice morning and it's before work or something, I'll go out and I'll sit on my back deck with my big cup of tea, and I'll dip my Belvita like graham cracker tasting things in my tea and eat it because it gets all nice and mushy. And let me tell you, man, there's no better way to wake up.
I'd say so.
Like it's so nice. So if you don't do that, I highly recommend you do that. Yeah.
You know what I just discovered?
What you just?
I'm on Letterboxd 1 million watched club.
What?
Right? I'm on it. Well, I'm not. I mean, no one. I don't have a movie that 1 million people have seen. I don't have a movie that one person's seen. But like I'm viewing the list, right?
Yeah.
I've seen every film on the list except for two, and there are like 50 on here. I've not seen Inside Out, and I've not seen Coco, but the
Well,
rest,
listen, man, that's those are some pretty big movies that you haven't seen. Those two are good.
are they good?
Yeah, Coco.
I've
I
never
think Inside
never
Out's
seen them.
a lot better than Coco, but Coco was still enjoyable.
Most of these are the Pixar movies, the franchise movies, and then like Gump, Wolf of Wall Street, Inception, Fight Club,
Right.
Pulp Fiction, Parasite, like the big ones, the
Right.
big movies. Notice like they're like the Indiana Jones movies aren't on here, and like a lot of the Star Wars movies aren't on here.
That's all. That's both a problem.
Jaws isn't on here. Like a lot of the big '80s movies, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean, I thought that was like a
Wait, that's on
huge
there?
movie. It's not on here.
Okay, I better say, I
For some reason, I thought it would be. I haven't seen Shawshank Redemption on here. What? What?
that's a problem too,
Where's it at? Like The Godfather's not on here. Like I'm thinking like best movies.
dude. So okay,
Yeah.
I
The
thought
Truman Show. Well, dude, Fincher. Let me find the Fincher movies on this list.
there's no way that there's not one Fincher movie on there, right? Like Seven, Zodiac, Social
Oh
Network,
no,
they have
no,
to
no,
be.
no. There are multiple.
Better say.
Fight Club. I'm just going down the list. Fight Club number one.
For Fincher on the list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Not number one in most views.
no.
Okay.
Well, for most views of Fincher's,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, it's number 6 for most views.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a lot of people have seen it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it several times. I'm probably a big chunk of that. 7 is on here. Social Network, Gone Girl.
It's 4.
I was gonna say Shutter Island, but that's Scorsese. Yeah, those 4.
Those are yeah, that makes sense. I'm shocked Zodiac's
And
not on there.
yeah, me too. But there are only 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 74 movies on here. And he's got 4 of them. So that's pretty good for a
That
director.
is a high percentage.
Yeah. I don't know if that well, they're Tarantino probably beats him out.
Well, yeah.
Tarantino, Christopher Nolan probably. There are a lot of Nolan films on here. I think Fincher might be like number 3, to be honest.
For most directors' movies on there.
Yeah. I'm looking. Who directed? I don't even know who directed The Matrix. Yeah, Lily
Oh, that was oh, hold on.
Wachowski.
Yeah, the Wachowski. What? Didn't she come back to do the newer one too?
Yeah, apparently it was like a big stinking pile of crap.
Yeah, I heard it was bad.
Yeah, there's like a guy at work, and he just he told me that it was like one of the worst things that he'd ever seen.
Yeah, the Wachowski siblings are the directors. Lana and Lily.
James Cameron has a few on here. I mean, you would who directed Mad Max? Oh, George Miller. Oh yeah, George Miller. Very nice. I've got the Mad Max poster hanging right above me. I don't know why I didn't think George Miller directed Fury Road. Of course he did.
So we are approaching 40.
Okay.
Hit me with your last 2.
Last 2. I yearn for more live action Pokemon, and it doesn't seem like we're gonna get that.
Wow. Okay, interesting.
I loved Detective Pikachu.
Oh, like, good movie.
I adored that movie. Yeah, I want more, and I had such a good time seeing that. I loved the huge. What are they called? Torterra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the mountain Torterras. They're like, oh, we're not on a mountain, we're on a Pokemon.
Yeah. No, I was shocked by it because like I don't even watch Pokemon, and I was shocked by how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really liked it. I liked how it was like a battle arena, like movie. Man.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of Pokemon battles going on, and it was great. I thought the lead also did a really good job.
Yeah.
I don't know what his name is, but he was good. Also Nightcrawler is overrated.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Nightcrawler is weird. Jake Gyllenhaal gives off I don't understand that it's deliberate, but Jake Gyllenhaal gives off such a toxic character, toxic personality, and you don't resonate with him because he's so weird. He's such an antisocial person. He's a psychopath, really. But there are better movies out there. I don't know why people like think of it as like one of the most entertaining movies because it's really not. Like it's good. I give it like a 7.
I mean, I'll 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 give you credit. I loved Nightcrawler.
Really.
Yeah,
I mean, I liked it. Yeah, I liked it, but it wasn't one of the best.
no, I'm not trying to make an argument for one of the best, but it was just I'm a big psychological guy. Like I like diving into characters' minds, and that one did that. Um, I don't know. I
I
respect
don't think it has that much substance.
That's fair. No, that is fair.
I don't think there's a lot that they're saying other than like, yeah, this guy like really doesn't care about anyone, just cares about his job. Like he's really weird
like,
with women.
I feel like the point was too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. Like this guy was so enveloped by his job that he became the things that he was trying to report
Oh
on.
yeah. Oh, of course. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, he became a villain.
Yeah, like he was I don't want to say he was seen as a hero, but he was the reporter, you know? Like
Yeah, the usual status of the reporter is just a neutral. Doesn't really have anything to do with the crime or
yeah.
the investigation. You're just you know what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, no, but I feel like I'm not going to say it's the deepest, but it was definitely it has enough of a statement that it makes one.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. But it's not something that to write home about, really.
Oh, I can understand that.
Okay, yeah, that's
Right, yeah.
that's probably the end of that segment then.
That is, and we'll be coming back. We have 2 Fincher films. Can you hit us with them real quick, Cole?
We have watched both Panic Room and The Game over this week. I watched both of them yesterday, and boy, let me tell you, there's some interesting movies, really. Go ahead, Ryan. What'd you think?
Yeah, they were a treat. We will be right back in our next segment to discuss them because I have a confession to make at the opening of this next segment.
He has to wipe his butt again because he didn't do it as good the first time.
Yes, I do. We'll be right back. At long last, we're at our last segment. Now, Cole, I said at the end of the last segment I have a confession, and here it is, okay? When I was looking at the premise of both of these movies, Panic Room and The Game, I thought that the synopsises looked boring.
Okay.
I had a hard time picking which one I wanted to watch first because I was like, these two don't really like. When you read the synopsis on Google, it doesn't do any of them credit.
Right.
Like I would say, even the trailers don't really do them that much better because I'm like, I watched both trailers and I was like, meh. So I ended up on Sunday night watching the shorter one, which ended up being Panic Room.
Okay.
And let me tell you, we'll start with Panic Room.
Let's do it.
I was delightfully surprised.
I was too.
It's
actually really.
Yeah. It's such a short premise, right? Like it's short premise. It's such a simple premise.
Simple. It's very easy, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's easy to follow. It's like it's not that complicated. It's like which is odd for a Fincher film. It's
very straightforward.
Yeah.
Very plot driven.
Like so the whole point. This wealthy family is getting a divorce, and we're following the mom, Jodie Foster, and her daughter, Kristen Stewart.
Who is a young girl.
She's
like 12,
like
13.
A child, yeah. So we follow them as they move into this new apartment. They're convinced by this, I guess it was just a real estate agent who was showing them around the house, and they make point of this panic room that they have in their house for home intruders. And it's all high tech. It's got a phone in it. It's got
all these monitors.
Yeah, it's like
cameras.
A big like steel door that shuts, but it doesn't shut if there's something in the way of it, which didn't come back to bite it like I thought it would.
They set that up so much, and I was thinking, I actually thought I had the same thought. I was like, yep, that's gonna be like the gimmick of the film.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
It wasn't. Didn't really have anything to do with anything.
Yeah, I mean, I get why they showed it, but it was still like, But then, so as you know, we said it was very simple. So as they decide to move in, and that the very night that they moved in is when they get invaded.
Yeah, the first night they're there.
Like I had the thought, like when it was continuing, like when the story was progressing, I was like, "There's no way they just moved into this place and they're about to get invaded." And surely enough, you see Forrest Whitaker and Jared Leto running around the property trying to find a way in, and it was just like, wow. Which you would think hurts it. It doesn't because of how it unfolds.
Right.
And then the rest of the movie, so like they're in the house, and Forrest Whitaker's like, there's two women in the house, a young girl
Like,
and
we have
her
to go.
mom, yeah.
We
And
can't hurt them.
Jared Leto's like, no, we're not leaving, and they're not supposed to be here, and we're gonna split that $3 million that is upstairs. They don't say where, but it's upstairs, right?
Yeah.
So to make a long point short, Jared Leto invites a guy named Raul.
Who is played by country music superstar Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. Dwight Yoakam's a really ugly guy, really evil looking dude.
Yeah.
Played a great role. He's played the villain in several movies. Actually I've been in the presence of Dwight Yoakam
Really?
before. I went to a Dwight Yoakam concert.
Wow. See, I had never heard of Dwight Yoakam before this movie.
Oh, I'll send you some songs.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm always
some of the best country music out there.
Yeah. See, now I'm hyped to hear this man's music. But
Wonderful.
so Raul, played by Dwight Yoakam, is a very sinister character. He's very well played. But so the Forrest Whitaker he is from the company that made the panic rooms. He's a very common sense guy. He's like down on his luck. He's going through a divorce. He needs to pay custody lawyers, and that's why he's on board. And Jared Leto's kind of this pampered
drug addict.
Yeah, with what's he got? He's not got. I about called them braids. He's got
cornrows.
Cornrows. There we go. And
he's like a crazy guy.
Yeah.
Like he's like Jared Leto playing himself. He's like, we have to get the money.
Yeah.
Like he's like a Batman villain almost.
Yeah. And so so Jared Leto convinces them to stay, and surely enough, Jodie Foster's character wakes up and drags Kristen Stewart into the panic room, where they shut the door, and Jared Leto is doing exactly what Cole just described. He's yelling at the other two. Yeah. Yeah, he's so mad.
And he's like, oh, yeah, go on.
Yeah, so as it turns out, what they're there to rob them for, what they're there to break in and take, is in the panic room.
Yeah.
And so the rest is a standoff of Jodie Foster's character and her daughter trying to hide out from these people as they're trying to break in. At the same time, they're trying to get a signal out. Yes.
They're trying to figure out how to use a phone. At some point they found like a little hole that gets some like ventilation in, some air.
Right.
They're like shining a flashlight out, SOS.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Right. Kristen Stewart's character ends up, she's got what is it that she has? Diabetes.
Diabetes, yeah.
Yeah, and so her blood sugar starts crashing, and that's a big plot point because she needs her shot.
The shot's downstairs in the fridge.
Yes, and so
behind like several product placed Evian water bottles.
Right, yeah.
Always drinking Evian in the movie.
Always. They're huge water bottles.
Massive.
But yeah, so I think to add some to preface here, this movie takes place in 2001 or 2002, one of the two. So they don't just have, like, she does have a cell phone, but it's one of those like really like prehistoric cell phones. So they have landlines, and the panic room does have its own landline, but the issue is that she just moved in, so she didn't set it up yet.
Yeah, nothing's set up.
Yeah, so she can't call anybody. They cut the lines to the house, or well, they ended up doing it. A big fiasco happened. She eventually,
they go downstairs. They're having this massive argument. She knows they're all downstairs, so she dives for the phone, the landline. It's one of the ones that, like, you hook it onto the receiver, but you can take it off. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it sits on the receiver with a little magnet or something.
Yeah.
Everybody used to have one.
Yeah, and so eventually she wires because they didn't cut the house phone just yet. They thought they did, but they didn't because Jared Leto's character is an idiot. And so she like hot wires the landline to the line in the
panic room.
In the panic room, yeah, and
which is real plot holy.
Yeah,
like that couldn't happen, but
no.
And maybe, who knows? Maybe,
I don't know. But she calls her ex-husband instead of calling 911, because 911 was like, well, she did call 911, but they were like, please hold. And then she called her husband, and he was like, what? And so she gets out. There are 3 men, and then she gets cut off because they they cut the line. And yeah, so later the husband shows up, the police even show up, and Jodie Foster, who is now locked out of her daughter's, or of the panic room, and the two of the 3 men are in the panic room. Jared Leto's character gets shot in the face by Raul because Jared Leto's like, "Yo, I will just inherit instead of
Yeah.
robbing." Which you would have thought was like, I get why, because he didn't want to split the money with his family, but they get this far and then he's like, "I'm gonna leave." Then Raul just like shoots him in the face.
Yeah, I mean, it's Jared Leto's death was a very satisfying one.
It was very grueling. Like,
Yes.
yeah, and so he dies, and so Forrest Whitaker and Raul are stuck in the panic room. That's another thing too, is that they hyped up the whole motion sensor thing, and then Raul's hand gets stuck in the door.
Yeah. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, like
That's weird because like the whole point is like you can't have anything in the path of the door. But then his hand doesn't get stuck in the door. His hand gets crushed.
Yeah, like
in
it's
the door.
broken.
Yeah, like broken in like 20 places. Like he's messed up.
Yeah. So
He's like screaming in there.
yeah.
It's like, but I think you're forgetting another part.
Which one?
When Jodie Foster and Kristen Stewart are in the panic room and they're all outside, they try to burn them out.
Oh yeah.
They get a hose and a thing of propane, and they pump some propane into the room through the lines.
Through the ventilation,
yeah, through the ventilation, and then they light it up.
Yeah, which is another, I think, plot point, because like, okay, it doesn't matter that you have the fire retardant blanket around you.
Blankets.
She has her hand in the vent, which is shooting propane out, and she like ignites the lighter. Her arm would cease to exist.
Yeah, her arm would be like a crisp.
Yeah, and Jared Leto's face was against the wall that exploded, and he only had like minor burns.
Yeah, no, this would be a gloriously huge explosion. This would be a bomb.
Right, like she lights it. Kristen Stewart and Jodie Foster jump to the ground underneath their blankets, and only the ceiling is on fire, and then that eventually goes away. Like, yeah, very plot holy.
Yeah, you would have thought the fire would have been much bigger of a deal, but like they kind of just forgot about it. Like they're like on to something new.
Yeah. So eventually Jodie Foster gets the shot into the panic room before the two criminals shut it, and one of them, Forrest Whitaker, gives Kristen Stewart her shot so she doesn't die of what's it called? There's a term for it where your sugar goes too low and you go into a coma. I can't think of what it's called, but that's avoided. And then, but before all this happened too, Jodie Foster's husband comes by and they beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, they really mess him up.
Yeah, they screwed him up really bad. But yeah, so anyway, Forrest Whitaker opens up what turns out to be a safe in the panic room, and there are 22 bank bonds for $1 million each. So yeah, Jared Leto's character was like, there's only $3 million in there, and it turns out there was 22. He was gonna just cash 20 of it.
Yeah. So like, good on him for dying. Like these are also the villains, but like you still, even though he's screwing over people who are also like breaking into a woman's house and terrorizing her and her child, you still feel really bad for Forrest Whitaker.
Right, because he's only doing it because he feels like he has to. Like he's not he
needs to.
His character the whole time, while he does bad things, he was painted as being a good guy.
He's so apprehensive to do everything too.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to hurt anyone.
Right, and I think that comes to a head at the very end, right? So they get the bonds and they pick up Kristen Stewart and they're using her as like a shield. Jodie Foster has like rigged the whole house. She cut all the lights. She locked all the doors so that the villains had to travel a specific path down the stairs. She taped a gun to the broken hand of her husband or her ex-husband who's sitting in a chair, so that he can try to shoot at them when they come down the stairs. And she's got a sledgehammer. And this is another point that I thought was really kind of stupid because Raul, after all this is breaking up, or like Kristen Stewart gets away from them, and the husband is holding the gun up at these two. Jodie Foster runs up behind Raul and absolutely like smacks him in the side of the head with a sledgehammer. He goes flying over the railing of a stairwell, and he's just fine.
Plus, he also has broken his hand in like 20 places.
Yeah, so like he like barely is able to climb up the stairs, but there's no mark on his face. Like he's just fine. He
really is a tough guy, isn't he, Raul?
Yes, Raul, that man, that scoundrel.
Yeah.
So yeah, he overpowers the dad, who just can't aim because his hand's broken. The only person whose hand that actually seems to like cause an issue. He's shooting the gun that he has in his hand. Doesn't hit Raul. Raul tackles the dad. The dad goes flying. Forrest Whitaker's actually out of the house, but he hears the scream and he turns around and is running back in. As Raul is on top of Jodie Foster, he's about to just plunge this sledgehammer into her face. Kristen Stewart is screaming in the fireplace behind her when Forrest Whitaker runs up behind Raul, shoots him in the head, and he dies. And he says, "You're safe now." Tries to run away. The cops stop him. The cops bust in. I don't know how they got there because Jodie literally was like, "No, I'm fine," but they busted in anyway.
Yeah, the cops show up, and they're like, "Are you trying to send us a message? Like, is there someone in the house that that you can't speak right now or anything?" And
Right.
she throws them off.
Yeah, like she doesn't even like if I
Because
wish,
if the cops come in, her daughter is in there with Raul.
They're gonna
and
kill them.
Forrest
Yeah,
Whitaker.
there's no
Yeah,
way
they're
in.
gonna kill the daughter.
Yeah, and I get it, but like the point what I don't understand is that she didn't blink or anything, so there was no reason for the police to come back in full force like they did.
Yeah, she didn't call them.
No, but they
There were
came back.
gunshots,
Yeah.
many gunshots.
But they were all a silencer, which in plot logic in movies means that there's no sound at all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so when the plot is convenient, Forrest Whitaker is arrested. I thought this was the dumbest part too. Is that like I get why, but the police are. He's got both hands in the air. He's holding on to all 22 bonds in his hand as they're in the air, and he's like, "Open your hand!" And he just lets it go, and the wind carries all of them away.
It's like, why not give them to someone? Or
Yeah.
like, I would at least be like, "Hey, I've got 22 mil right here."
Yeah. Like give them to Jodie and her daughter.
Yeah. Like you put them through enough stress. Like, just give them a few more $1 million.
Yeah, and so yeah,
They're rich anyway.
yeah, and that's the end of the movie.
That's the end. Yeah.
The end is we see Jodie and Kristen Stewart looking for a new apartment.
And they are noticeably older.
Yes, and here's the thing.
Because Jodie Foster is wearing glasses.
Yes. Okay, so here's the thing. We talked a lot of crap in this synopsis.
Yeah.
We did. Not that it's not earned, I should say. It had its issues. But I'm not gonna lie. I feel like some of that was more of the writing. Because the shots and the acting were both phenomenal. The cinematography was amazing.
The acting was the standout for me.
Yeah.
Like, nothing on my boy David Fincher, but like, come on, the acting was so good. I thought that Jodie Foster, like, she's just a class act.
Oh yeah, and see, here's the thing: we've watched how many movies now of David Fincher? This is like 7, right?
Yeah,
6 or 7. There's not one movie where his actors aren't phenomenal.
Right.
He gets the absolute best out of his talent
so far.
Yeah.
You know what? You have coined that phrase, and that is exactly true.
Like he's so
Gone Girl, Dragon Tattoo, wonderful. Button. I thought Benjamin Button, some of the acting was a little bit
the acting overall was still good though.
That's my least favorite so far is Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is probably the most of the Fincher films. This is the most, I don't know how to put it. Maybe like street level, sort of like pedestrian.
It's simplistic.
It's the simplest movie that he has by far.
It's the easiest to watch.
Yeah. This is one of those movies like you watch with your family and you're like, this was an interesting, fast-paced plot.
Right. Like
good. I'm glad we watched that.
I am too. Yeah, like it did everything it was trying to accomplish. Like it wasn't trying to make a deeper meaning. It wasn't trying to have some sort of hidden message or metaphor. It was just a woman buys a house, gets invaded, has the one thing to stop them, and then beats the bad guys.
Right.
That's it. But
you know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
But the plot definitely had me on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Like there were moments where I was legit like my heart was beating.
Like what's going to happen next?
Yeah.
Legitimately, how can they further this plot? Like going in, I thought that the deal would be like, how in the world are they going to make a 2-hour movie out of a woman and her daughter sitting in a room?
Right.
But they pulled a lot of stuff out of their butts.
Which is why I thought this was going to be boring. Which is why I had a hard time picking it because I was like, it doesn't look entertaining. But it was. Listen, if this was done by any other director, almost any other director, this would have been an awful movie.
Yeah, it would have been like the most forgettable movie.
Like Razzies all over the place.
Yeah, but Fincher did a great job.
Yeah.
I thought. I thought they did a good job with spatial awareness too.
Yeah.
Of the house, because like there was an elevator, He goes from the bottom floor, second floor, third floor, right? And there's all these different floors. And by the end of the movie, you know the layout of the house. They explore it so well.
Yeah. I will say at first it did kind of confuse me because the layout is so extravagant that there's so much to try to get a hold of.
Well, yeah.
But by the end, like what you said, like they're so good at exploring the crevices of the house that you know where they're going.
Yeah, they're all, and it's a lot of like, sometimes they have to run upstairs, and then they run back downstairs, and then
Right.
they run upstairs.
Right.
Somebody's in the elevator. Oh, we gotta go back down. Oh, we gotta go back up.
Like you wouldn't think that they would be able to pull a goose chase in just a house, but they were able to.
It really was a goose chase, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very
But
well
with,
made.
with very high stakes. Like,
Yeah.
Raul, you could tell Forrest Whitaker from as soon as you see me, you're like, yeah, he's not gonna kill anybody. Like,
Yeah.
he's not gonna try to hurt anyone. But like those two, they're out for blood.
Yeah.
They will do anything to get this money.
There was actually some comedy in it because like not like outright, but I think the funniest line in the movie was when Forrest Whitaker was yelling at Jared Leto like, "You said there wouldn't be anyone in here," and he was like, "They told me 14 days," and Forrest Whitaker looks at him and is just like, 14 days. And he goes, "How is that not 14 days?" And Jared Leto was like, 14 business days. You know they.
Yeah.
He's like,
They always do business days and these sorts of things.
yeah, like it was the dumbest thing, like reasoning ever.
Yeah, Jared Leto was so incompetent in the movie. Everything he did, he just made like massive mistakes.
Yeah, it was
so
It
dumb.
was so funny though. Like
it was funny. I liked it when they thought that the next. It was like they tried like one or two things, and they're like, "Well, we can't get in the panic room. Let's just try to go in from below it."
Yeah,
so they start like beating the sledgehammer to the floor or to the ceiling.
Yeah. Jared Leto's like, "Don't get something in your eye."
Yeah, you're sitting there watching him,
and
watching Raul.
Yeah, Forrest walks in and is just like, he looks at this and he's like, "What are you doing?"
Like, why would this work? There's like 2 foot of concrete and steel below the panic room.
Yeah, and they're like, and the Raul's like, "I just want to try," and he's like trying. So funny, man. But yeah,
I thought a great addition was that Whitaker actually worked for the company that put the panic room in.
Very like it made him even like his credence to what's the word? His credentials as a villain were like that much greater with those.
Because he knows the stakes. He knows what's going on.
It's like because like if he didn't, it would be kind of dumb because like okay, obviously they're not going to get in this impenetrable thing. But then when you feel like Jody and Kristen are actually in danger when you realize one of the villains knows how to get in.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they never really get in though.
No, they don't. But like, and that was something he said too. Is that like he spent 15 years like designing them, like they're impenetrable.
You can't get in,
but you still feel uneasy that he knows so much about it.
Yeah, because he has so many tactics to draw them out.
Yeah, and so yeah, very well made. I think before we move on, it's time to give the rating. So if you're not, I'm not gonna lie. You said Benjamin Button was your least favorite. I think this one was my least favorite. Not because it was bad. It was just not. I just don't think it lived up to the Fincher standard.
It really doesn't live up to the Fincher standard. Like that's true. It's not like a lot of the Fincher movies.
Right.
This is more of like a quick, easy, single setting film that they made in like 3 weeks.
Right.
Didn't take them long. Needed some cash. Made a great movie.
Yeah, for what they were aiming for. Yeah, it like we said earlier, did everything it tried.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's a very It's what's a great word for it?
You know, I think the phrase we're looking for here, it's not daring. Like it's not something that like you go out of your way to make. Like this isn't something that they're trying to like break the mold. They're not trying to tell an amazing story. It's a safe movie.
Yeah. It's just a fast, like action, sort of action thriller movie.
Yeah, you've got a great director, you've got great talent with a subpar script, and it made money. That was the point. It made money. Yeah.
But it hasn't really stood the test of time because it's not a very famous movie.
No.
Not a lot of people know it because it's unremarkable.
Yeah.
Although it's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it. I'll give it like a 5. It is the most baseline average movie.
It really is the most average movie I've ever seen.
from Fincher. Like it's not
It's
bad.
better than most movies.
Right. Like okay.
Yeah.
We've given so far I do want to highlight the worst movie we've ever given, and I think there's a theme here. The worst rating we've had so far was week 1, and that was Morbius at 3.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Our highest were 2 Fincher films, Fight Club and Social Network.
At 10.
Yes, at 10 out of 10. So like I said, I give it 5. What do you give it before we can tally up?
A 5. I give it a 5.
Okay, so I think
it's a
that's fair.
5.
So it's a 5 out of 10 movie. That means that so far in week 6, the 2 lowest rated movies we have star Jared Leto.
Yeah. Jared Leto sucks.
I'm not gonna.
I'm uneasy I'm uneasy around him. Like when I'm watching his movies, I'm uneasy. I don't like Jared Leto.
I don't want
like
to say.
him.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm just saying it's a funny coincidence because I know how much you hate him.
Yeah, well, it's not much of a coincidence then, is it? 'Cause I'm half of this. I'm half of this system, baby.
You're right. You're right.
Well,
what makes it worse with Morbius is that I was the one. Because remember, you didn't see it, so I'm the one who gave it myself.
Yeah. I give Morbius a 1 and Panic Room a 0
Oh wow.
because Jared Leto.
Yeah. Okay. So 5 out of 10. We've already given.
Fight
5 out of
Club
10.
has Jared Leto in it, and it's a 10. Fight Club is a 2.
That is true. I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, he plays Angel Face or whatever.
I completely forgot he was in that movie. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Fincher really likes Leto.
He does.
And like I understand. I do. I mean, he's a good actor.
Yeah. All right. So now it's time to move on to listen. This movie, I told you about how both of these seemed boring to me, and Panic Room was a delightful surprise. So imagine my just absolute bewilderment when I woke up Monday morning, watched it in the morning, and was just enthralled by this movie that is The Game.
I'm obsessed with it,
dude.
I am. I really like it. Bro, Ryan.
Michael Douglas gives I think this has got to be like one of the performances of his careers, right? Like this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the most characterized character that I've ever seen. You know exactly who he is. And you know everything about his personality.
Yeah.
By the time the action starts, it's great. It's some of the best. Let's go by the plot. Let's talk about the plot, and then we'll talk about how we thought.
Oh boy. Okay, so it starts with you say we know exactly who he is from the very beginning. It's a stuck-up, like wealthy business owner. He's like a bank. What's he? A bank?
An investment banker.
Investment banker. Thank you. He's an investment banker who's got all the money in the world. His dad was wealthy. His dad's death is a big portion because his dad jumped off of a building and committed suicide.
Which comes back as a big part.
It does. Quick sidebar. We said it in previous episodes. If you ever need help, have issues, there's people around you that love you. Suicide hotline is available. Don't do stuff like this.
We love you.
Yes, we do. But back. Sorry. I just wanted to get that out there. Coming back to this. His dad's death really resonates with him. In fact, so much so, and it's interesting that this happens in this like correlation in time because it's Michael Douglas's character's 48th birthday, which is the year or how old his dad was when he died. So, Michael Douglas, he's like a bratty, like a spoiled, just I don't even want to call him a jerk. Yeah, just a jerk. Businessman.
Yeah, and you see him like shoot people down instantly. A couple times in the movie. Yeah, there's a guy that he fires. He just fires him, and he has no remorse. There's like this massive panel that comes and like is presenting this business venture to him. He's just like, nope, can't do it.
Or like his wife called him at one point to wish him a happy birthday, and he was just like, no, like goodbye.
She said it was his ex-wife, and they'd only been divorced for like a year.
Yeah,
and she says, I don't know why I keep calling. And he goes, I don't know why you do either.
Yep, and that was like he said, "Take care, goodbye," and that was the end of it. Like,
he said, "Okay, take care, goodbye."
Such a jerk. Yeah,
he just wants to watch, like them talk about the stocks on TV.
Yeah, like on C-SPAN or whatever. Yeah,
just like some of those boring stuff.
Yeah,
he's mean to waiters.
Yeah, And
Ugh.
dude, and so what ends up happening is his brother comes to town, and Nick, his name is Nick, Nick Van Orton. He has a soft spot for his brother, played by
Conrad.
Sean Penn. What was his brother's name?
Conrad Van Orton.
Conrad. Yes, they call him Connie.
Yeah.
So he goes out to lunch with his brother, and his brother, who very quickly, to add to the jerk phase, but also you learn that he had some issues in his past, because I mean, Nick is instantly like, "Are you on drugs?" Like, he's asking him how, like, if he's still hooked, and Conrad, you can tell, is just like, "Wow, like, thanks,
Like, yeah.
like, I've been off them."
That's a good well, I just finished Ozark, and uh uh Laura Linney's character in Ozark, I don't know why I can't think of the name. I'm sitting here scrolling Letterboxd. Um she uses people's drug addictions as like power over them all the time. If someone has an alcohol or drug addiction at any point in their life, in order to gain power over them, she immediately brings it up.
Right.
Or she uses that as like to talk down about someone. She's like, oh, they're just a drug addict. They
Right.
don't you know that they just have an addictive personality when they might have been a heavy drinker 30 years prior.
Right.
So I think that's a trait of toxic people.
Yeah.
Because the first thing they do, are you still addicted? Are you still addicted?
Right. Like, there was no, like, in the conversation, it felt so, like, disruptive, because, and jarring, even to, like, the viewer, because there was no need for him to bring that up.
Right.
And so, but during this whole conversation at the beginning, Conrad hands him it was like a pamphlet, or like it wasn't a ticket, but it was something
It's more
from
like
this
a postcard.
postcard. That's a good word. Yeah, from this company called CRS, Consumer Recreation Service. And he says this will change your life, and that's the end. He just leaves, or well, he doesn't leave. He brings in like a birthday singer, like a whole list of waiters
Yeah,
and waitresses
yeah.
come in and start singing happy birthday.
Yeah, Nicholas says, "You know I hate surprises,"
He goes, "I
and
know."
then he knows I know, and then he turns around and they start singing to him
Yeah, which was
for his
absolutely
birthday.
hilarious. Yeah. So the next few steps in the film, you see Nick talk about this big meeting that's coming up, which was the guy that he ended up firing that you were talking about. But as he's discussing this, you could tell he's kind of interested in CRS, because Conrad had told him that it'll bring fun back into your life. So
And he
eventually,
gives it a shot. I mean, he's
yeah,
so cynical, but he goes.
yeah, he does, and he realizes that CRS is it his building?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
in
was
his
like
office
the
building.
14th floor of the office that he works in. So he goes up, and he ends up spending the entire day at CRS, because they're getting like his psych eval, they're giving him physical, they want to see what his mile time is. Like, they are tailoring what they describe as a game to him. That's the whole business model of CRS, is that it's a game. Like, they want to tailor it to you. Your game can start and end whenever you want, and you just live a better life after this. We've never had a bad rating. We never had a
But
bad review.
they don't give them specifics.
Yes, none at all. Like,
No, you don't know what this is.
Michael Douglas keeps asking, "What is this?" and they do not answer that question.
Right.
So finally, after I think like a 10-minute, no, not 10, probably like a 7-minute like montage of him doing all these things for this company and signing all these waivers, he finally is able to leave, and all seems to be well with the world until, oh, what happens?
Wait, what does happen?
The clown.
The clown shows up at his house. He pulls up, and there's just a massive. It's like a 5 foot tall clown statue or like figure.
It's a wooden doll, and you know what's
A doll,
the most
big
important
doll.
thing about this doll is it's placed in the exact spot his dad died,
Oh,
laying
yeah.
in the
Okay.
exact same position.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so he brings the clown in after pulling a key out of the clown's mouth. So he brings the clown in and sets it down on the chair beside him and continues watching TV. So he's watching TV with this clown, and then the television starts speaking to him. Walter
Yeah.
Mondale on the TV or whatever his name is, it says like starts making jokes about starts making like crude jokes about Nicholas Van Orton. He's like, what? So he goes and he starts having like a conversation with his television, talking to this guy, and he says, "This is impossible." He says, the guy on the TV says, what's so impossible about this? You're having a conversation with your television."
Yeah.
And I have a conversation with my TV pretty much every day.
Yeah,
So
so we relate to this.
yeah.
Very personal
Um,
issues.
yeah. And then what happens? He realizes that there's a camera in the eye of the clown. And then that's pretty much the end of the scene.
Yeah. So yeah, so following this, the key has CRS on it, and they're like, "This is your game. You have no idea where the key is going to be used. You don't know what it's going to be used for. You just have it. Good luck." So he goes forward, and he believes at first. He goes into that meeting with that guy that Cole described that he fired, and he believed because he couldn't open his briefcase that it was the key to the briefcase, and it wasn't. So he leaves, and all in a fit. He goes to dinner, and as he stands up, the waitress there spills a crap ton of drinks on him and is immediately fired because she tried to apologize, and she was like mad because he was being a jerk, as he always was. And as she's leaving, he gets a message on the table that we don't see until a little bit later, but it says, don't let her go." And so he follows her, and
He chases after her.
yeah, as he's chasing her, a man collapses. And he's like foaming at the mouth, and he's like turning blue. And surely enough, so they go to the hospital with them. Nick Van Orton and I can't remember, Christine was her name. And so they get to the hospital, and it turns out that all that was part of the game. And they're trying to get through the hospital, and they get into the elevator that popped up, and it doesn't work. And surely enough, the key that he got from the wooden clown was to the elevator. So they get to the top floor, they go up the elevator, and they end up in CRS.
At this point in the film, as soon as they get to the hospital, that's when you realize the expansive nature of the game.
Yes.
Because everyone who was running the ambulance and everyone in the hospital,
the police at the scene,
everyone that they see in like a 5-minute period were all part of the game.
Yeah. And so yeah, I'm gonna kind of speed run because there's much
a lot
that happens.
Yeah.
So like at some point, so after they're running from the CRS security because they ended up in the CRS office building and an alarm went off. Nick Van Orton calls Christine a cab, and the next day he's called because his American Express card was stolen and was used at a hotel to rent a room. He goes to the hotel, and when he gets there, porn is playing. There's cocaine on the table and lines. There's all these pictures of supposedly him with what looks like Christine having intercourse. And man, it's wild. Like, I don't even know how to describe this scene. Like,
that's when it gets confusing too, because the whole thing is the people at the hotel act like he was the one that had been there the night before, and that he was the one who had done all these things.
Right. Even though we saw him, like, we were with the character the night before, so the audience and the character knows it wasn't him.
Right.
So he goes on because he doesn't really know if it's the game or not. The rest of the film after this, it's almost like the only thing I can compare it to is like the Truman Show.
It's a lot like the Truman Show.
Yes.
It really is.
But because it's like
everything that's happening is set up by hundreds and hundreds of people.
Right. So eventually he goes back and he finds Christine, and as he finds her house that she's living in, it's almost like a townhouse with a bunch of other people. Or at least we only see one other person, but it's implied there's other people. And so when he goes in and she goes to change clothes, he realizes that everything about the townhouse is fake. From the books on the shelves to the pictures of her on the desk, it's all fake. It's from a magazine, or it's all just props. And so Christine walks out, and Nick he's mad because he's like, "What's happening?" And she's like, "They can hear us. The smoke detector above us. Don't say anything." He gets mad.
So he's like, he gets mad. He's like, "I want to face them right now."
Yeah.
And so he smashes the smoke detector with like a golf club or something.
Yeah.
And immediately vans full of SWAT teams start coming up the stairs, and they start firing upon the house with automatic rifles.
Yeah.
So they get away. They run. Little speed run. She comes with him. She tells him like what the deal is. She says, "Oh, this company, CRS, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this company CRS. You gave them all your information when you did your little test with them, right? Your little personality thing. So like they have all of your information. They've talked to everyone using your voice. So they have all your passwords. All of your funds have been drained. Everything that you have is now theirs, and you will not be able to find them.
Yeah.
So that's what he thinks is going on. And he's like, shoot, shoot, shoot. So eventually he catches up with Conrad. And Conrad, what happens with Conrad?
Well, okay, so they start having an argument because Conrad gets to the house and this man is like, he's having a conniption, to say the least. Would that be, how would you describe his manner at this point? Because I can't think of another way to describe him.
Just fits.
Distraught,
just confused.
Yeah. So they get in their car and they're driving away, and as this is happening, they're discussing about, like, Conrad's going on and on about how they won't leave him alone. He paid all this money for the game to leave him alone, and they won't do it. The CRS, I should say, and all this and that. And that's when their tire pops, and he stops to change it, and Conrad opens the glove compartment, and all these keys fall out, CRS keys. And Conrad goes running away, cussing at Nick, saying,
"You're with CRS.
Yeah, you're a part of it." And it's real, like, it's a jarring scene. So Nick runs away, and I feel like, are we out of order?
I think we are.
Is it then after that he goes to see Christine?
I think he does.
Okay,
that's what I was thinking too.
Better say, we apologize. So this happened, and then he went to go find Christine. So he then goes and finds Christine. Wait, are you sure?
I don't know. I really don't.
Man,
I've seen it twice.
There's so much going in
the middle of this movie just kind of like all runs together.
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah. Because it's supposed to be so confusing, and it's supposed to be fast.
Because regardless, like, his tire popped. Oh, you know what it was? We are in the wrong spot, because Conrad happens, and then the next day happens. He's with his lawyer, and he gets a new tire.
That's right. Yeah.
And then he goes and finds Christine, and then they go on the run, because after they go on the run and escape the SWAT team, sorry about that.
That's when it really ramps up.
Yes, because then they get to this old it's like a wooden cabin that their father had and all that, and it's there that Nick gets a call from his lawyer, who's like, "Yo, your money's still there. Like, it's not one, like, penny isn't accounted for. Like, you're fine." And that's when Christine's like, he's in on it. And as it turns out, she was lying. She gave him some tea to drink. He drank it, and it was drugged. And so he's going out. He's like a light. He's passing out. And that's when she confesses. She's like, "I'm actually in on this. He's not. You didn't tell him where you were, so he's not going to help you. And all those people you talked to about your bank accounts, trying to see all the money, that was us. So now we have your bank accounts, and now your money's going to be drained, and good luck." And so he passes out. He then wakes up in Mexico in, like, a grave.
Yeah.
Like, in a white suit, in a grave. He like digs himself out, and his first instinct is to go to the American embassy, or the United States embassy, I should say, where they're like, "Yo, you're obviously wealthy. We don't know what happened to you, but good luck." So they don't help him, and he leaves. The guy's like, at the embassy's like, "Sell your watch," because wealthy people, I mean, people that don't have money to get across usually don't have watches that look like that. And it was like a watch he got for his 18th birthday from his mom, gold watch. So he had to sell it, and he had this money, and he made the long trek all the way up to San Francisco, where he borrows his ex-wife's car. He goes to where did he go? He goes to try to find the guy that initially pitched the game to him.
Oh, the guy who gave him the test.
Yes, because he realized after watching,
he finds that guy.
He realized
because the guy's an actor.
Yes.
Yeah.
He saw him on TV, and he realized he was just an actor, so he finds him. It was there after this. He gets the actor, and they go to where the CRS are located now. And he eventually gets Christine. He finds her there because she works there too. And he's got her at gunpoint. Oh, I guess we should say, when he got back to San Francisco, he went to his house, which was ransacked. It was for sale. He found a gun that he had in a book. That, like, it was like hidden in the folds of To Kill a Mockingbird, the book.
Right.
And he brings the gun into CRS's office. He takes Christine, and the CRS office people, like well, not them, the office people, the security show up with like automatic weapons, and they start shooting. And they shoot the actor. You see him go flying, and you're like, oh, he's dead. So they take Christine, or he takes Christine up to the roof, and
He holds her hostage.
yeah, and she's trying to talk to him, and then she's like, wait a minute, you didn't take that's not an automatic weapon. And he's like, no. She's like, you didn't take the gun off of the security guard that you got, like, that you obviously snuck past to get in here. And he's like, no. And she starts freaking out because she's like, all of this is fake. We were never shot at. What do you think you saw? What do you think you're looking at? And as they're up on the thing, you see a saw start cutting through the lock on the door, right? That is keeping them up there. And she's like, behind that door is your brother, all the actors that you've seen already, and we have champagne and a cake, and it's all like a party for you.
It's your birthday party.
Yeah. He's like, you're lying.
You're trying to kill me. You're trying to kill me.
Yeah. So
And she's frantically on the headset, like, come on, he's got he's got a revolver, like,
Yeah.
he's gonna shoot me. He's got a real gun. He's got a real gun.
You got to chill out. Like, calm down. He's got a real gun. And so, but none of it stops anything. So he's got the gun pointed at the door. The door finally busts open, and it is his brother with a champagne bottle and a fancy white suit, and they all yell, surprise! And he shoots through the champagne bottle, hits his brother in the heart, and his brother falls to the ground dead. The actor that we thought we saw die earlier is there, and he's like, oh my god, he's dead. You never let the target take control of the situation. He was your responsibility. And she's like, I'm sorry. And remember, they're on the very top of a like a skyscraper, so keep that in mind. So you hear them freaking out, and he's like, we're going to jail. And so
we're gonna go to jail for a very long time.
yeah. So Nick's looking at the gun, he drops it, and he walks over to the edge, and he's looking down, and there's like a smaller building down below, and it's got like a glass ceiling. Now listen, this part, a trip. It threw me for the biggest loop imaginable.
Because remember, at some point, his father commits suicide, and there's a piece of paper that he finds that was planted by the game.
Yes.
That says, like my father before me, I choose eternal sleep.
Yes. Very jarring. So Nick jumps. He jumps off, and he's falling this great length. He goes through the glass, careening through the glass, and we see as he's going through, we see all these people staring and looking as this man is falling through, and he lands on those big old-fashioned like Hollywood like airbags that people jumped off of tall buildings into. And when he does this, he's surrounded by paramedics, and they're like, Mr. Van Orton, you're gonna be fine. It was quite a fall. Don't open your eyes. It's not. It might be sugar glass, but it can still cut you. And they're like wiping it all off him. They pick him up, and everyone starts to clap. And guess who's there? Conrad Van Orton with fake blood and everything. He's like,
such a trip.
Oh my gosh, I was so confused because he pulls out a shirt. And it says something like, I was drugged and sent to Mexico, and all I got was this stupid T-shirt.
And they're all happy birthday.
Yeah. They're all celebrating.
They're all shaking his hands.
Yeah.
All the people that have been actors for like the entire movie that you thought were like villains are all just so happy to be there.
Yeah.
So happy.
And so Conrad walks up to Nick, like is hugging him, and he's like, I had to. You were becoming so much of a jerk. And Nick starts crying, and they hug, and Nick's all happy. He's like, thank you, Conrad. And like all this is happening, and he chases Christine out because he's like, where is she? We don't even know if that's her real name. He chases her out, and the movie ends with he asks her out on a date because she's going to Australia to do the same thing to someone else. And he's like, when you come back, we should go on a date. And she's like, yeah, I'd like that. And then she's like, would you like to come to the airport for some coffee before I leave? And he's like, yeah. And that's the end of the movie.
That's in.
Yeah, and so listen, we compared it to The Truman Show. And
it's fun.
Dude, that's exactly what here's the thing, with The Truman Show, you knew what was happening.
You understand. Because like halfway through, you realize that, this is no game. They are stealing all of his money, and they are extorting this man. Yeah. And that's what you think for a lot of the movie.
Dude, here's the thing. You didn't know what was the game and what wasn't. It was so I keep using the word jarring. It was so like deceptive. Because at one point you just stop believing anything you see on your screen.
You're like, oh, anything goes.
Yeah,
This could be anything.
like this guy, like, oh, that's an actor, or that's not a real person, and it was just, like I literally like, so the part where Nick shoots Conrad, I had my hand on my face, like in shock. My jaw was on the floor. My hand was on my mouth. I'm like, because like when she's yelling, it's all a game. Like I didn't know what to believe. That whole sequence, the shots were glorious. The acting was awesome. I was so invested that when he shot Conrad, and it turned out that she was right to an extent. Obviously, she's playing a part. I was shook. Like I was so dumbfounded. I was like this is.
I thought that was the end of the movie. I thought that was like the tragedy.
Dude, I was so. It was.
I thought that was like
so
the Shakespeare
profound.
moment.
Yes, it's so profound.
He just shoots him right there.
Yeah, that would have been. Listen, that as an ending would have been good on its own.
I think that would have been a better ending.
Listen, I don't mind. Listen, I like the way it ended because like the double, the double twist was so. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah, this movie doesn't have one twist. It has like 6 or 7.
Dude,
twists.
hold on. I want to look up the game movie writer because I want to see who wrote this because the screenplay was written by Michael Ferris and John Brancato.
What else do they write? Because they probably wrote like
Michael Ferris has written a lot. Written. Let's see here. And he's done The Others, Inceptor, Surrogates, Flight of the Black Angel, Primeval, The Game, Severed Ties. He did Terminator 3, The Net. Let me see here. Let me look.
A lot of movies I haven't heard of.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. John Brancato did. Let's see. He also did Flight of the Black Angel. He also did the. Okay, so I'm seeing a theme here. A lot of these movies are the exact same as. He also wrote Terminator Salvation.
Like they have the same plot.
What? What do you mean?
What do you mean? There are a lot of movies that are the same.
So
because they write movies together.
Yes, Michael Ferris and John Brancato, like most of their movies are the exact same because
they're
wrote
dating.
Oh, what really?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you read that somewhere. I was like, whoa.
No, I don't know. That'd be cool though.
Wouldn't that be?
Yeah.
But no. Like they've both of these screenwriters work on the exact same thing. And listen, I think this is their best work by far.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's such a good movie.
I want to give
it's
them,
it's so good.
Dude, I want to give them the credit that they deserve because listen, like I said, it's so like everything that happens is just so out there, but it's so like believable. Like you don't know what to believe. It's like sorry, go ahead.
It just really mind ifs you.
Yeah. You know that feeling of like when you're lied to and you know that person might lie to you again, but you don't know whether or not they're telling the truth this time?
That's what it is.
That's what this movie is. You're like, okay, I know this might not be the truth, but I don't know what else to believe.
I think it breaks you down at about halfway through. You're broken down and you're like, I don't know what to believe, so I'm not going to draw any conclusions. I'm not going to believe anything. I'm just going to watch and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because like the time for speculation is over about halfway through because you're like, anything can happen in this movie. Like I'm not going to rule anything out. I'm not going to expect anything.
Right.
I'm just like, let's see what happens. And it does not disappoint.
Nope.
And it shows a great dynamic character arc.
Yeah.
It really does. Like it's so dynamic because he starts as this guy that doesn't appreciate anything about life other than, whatever, eating his like nasty looking cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Like watching the stocks on the TV.
Poor Ilsa.
Yeah.
He's
Ilsa,
like his like live at the house like maid.
Yeah, she lives with him.
Yeah, like she lives in a house outside of his own.
Imagine living with that guy.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I would not. I would not mess with him.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would have done. I would have done the exact thing that the game did to him just by talking to him. Like, I don't think he even needed the game. Like, just talk to someone with a personality, bro, and then you might just be okay, because he hates personality at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
He hates everything that's not like being smug, I guess.
Dude. Like you pointed it out at the very beginning, like one of the people that worked for him was like, "Happy birthday," and she walked away, and his response after she was gone was, "I don't like her."
Yeah, like what a jerk.
Yeah. So yeah, I listen.
Absolute jerk.
This was so fun. It like the twists like oh my gosh, like this
It
is
was so fun.
yeah, like it's not the best movie ever. I think this is one of Michael Douglas's best performances, and everything that we said about Panic Room is the exact same for this. The shots are beautiful, cinematography is great, acting is above and beyond anything you could ever ask for. But
Yeah.
this one runs
I thought
laps.
Sean Penn did a really good job.
Oh yeah.
I thought Conrad was wonderful.
The Sean Penn was really good. What Deborah? What's her name?
The girl that plays Christine.
Yes. What's her name?
Oh, she's real cute, man.
I can't think of her. Hold on, give me a second.
She's beautiful. This is the episode where like any blonde woman that we talk about, like I called Rebel Wilson phenomenally attractive on here. So like whatever I say, just take it for a grain of salt.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Cole has a type.
Yes.
Deborah Kara Unger is her name. She was phenomenal. She was also in Crash, the movie that you were wanting to see.
Oh well, I'm gonna see it soon. Soon enough, I will.
She's in Crash, the game. She's in Highlander 3. I'm trying to see. She's in Silent Hill Revelation, a movie called White Noise. Like I wouldn't say she's the most well known, but she was very good in this movie.
Yeah, she was awesome, and like she played. And for the second time, I knew the twist. I knew she was in on it, and you would not expect her to be in on it when you see her, like the way she's acting. Like you think that she's like his counterpart for a lot of the movie.
Yeah, see, I knew that Conrad, like a part of me like suspected Conrad from the beginning, but the double twist.
Yeah, the double twist is the one that got me.
Yeah.
The first twist I expected. I was like, yeah, like this is all a game. Like the movie's called The Game.
Right.
Like it's a game.
Obviously Conrad is involved. Like that's how we got into it. So obvious, yeah. But when he
got shot,
bro.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, I can't recommend both of these movies enough. Like we might have given the Panic Room 5 out of 10. Still worth a watch. Go for it.
Yeah. Watch Panic Room. But The Game, like I would recommend this to watch. Like if you want to, like it's a social movie too. It's not. It's a good movie to watch by yourself, but it's also a great movie to watch like with someone.
Yeah. No.
So you could, you can have like your reaction.
First date idea, man.
Watch The Game,
dude. Yeah. No, listen. Get a projector. Find a good wall. Have like a picnic and play the game.
The Game, yeah.
There you go.
And then afterwards you can play a game. You play Monopoly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's listen. Before we get into rankings, everything you just said, I double it. Watch The Game, please, because we gave a very bad synopsis, but we tried.
We tried. It's such a complicated plot. We'd have to be here for another hour to explain the plot.
We're going on 55 minutes of this segment, and we would need to double this.
Yes.
Just to get through the rest of every little nuance in this movie. So please go watch this movie.
You will not be disappointed at all.
No. And with that, it's time for rankings. See, this one, it's kind of hard because like I know where it's going to be placed in the range. I don't know what number to land on.
I'm going to give it 7 automatic pistols out of 10.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, so what was funny, and this is what I'll do because I'm not gonna lie. I like it when you go first because I like trying to sway the way that it should go, and I know you like. I know you like to do the same thing.
Yeah. Well, you get to do it this time, so.
Yes. So I was having a tough time deciding whether to give it a 7.5 or an 8. So since you give it a 7, I'm gonna give it an 8 to get it at 7.5.
We'll take it to 7.5. That works.
I think that's a great rating for this.
I think it's a 7.5. I've never seen a more 7.5 in my life.
Yes. Like, it's on the cusp of being one of the best movies I've seen in a long time, but it's just not there yet. Like, it's not there.
No, but it's close.
It's close. It's a great film. Gotta watch it, dissect it, but, like, it's not, like, looking back here, we are keeping track of our ratings for the most part. So, like, we were talking before the segment, Fight Club is 10 out of 10, Social Network's 10 out of 10, Benjamin Button's 7, Panic Room is 5, but what there more that we watched? Oh, well, no. You know what? I know what I'm thinking of.
What's that?
We both. Did you ever watch Mank?
No.
Okay, so I watched Mank because originally Mank was going to go on this week, but because Mank has such a close connection and in every way possible. I won't go into what yet because that'll be something for next week. With the considered the best movie of all time, Citizen Kane, we decided to push it back so that we can better dissect both movies with the other two that we have.
And listen, I've never seen Citizen Kane. I've never seen a stitch of it.
Listen,
never
man.
a second. So like, I'm ready.
I feel like it has its place in history for a reason, and that's where I'll leave it.
Okay.
So yeah, so next week.
Do you like a Citizen Kane?
I do. Yes, I heavily enjoyed it.
Is it an enjoyable film to watch?
It's a little bit slow. You really have to be into like character study.
Okay.
Because it is a deep study. It's about to give a little synopsis. A man dies at the very beginning, and the rest of the film is you going through his life, like being told from other people's perspective. A journalist is writing about the life of this man that has died. I won't tell you who the man is, what he's done, who he talks to, but that's the rest of the story. Is it like a retelling of this man's life from the point of view of all these people that knew him in previous lives?
Okay.
And it's Orson Welles is the director. He stars in it, and which is this last thing I'm going to say is kind of, according to Mank, is kind of a complicated like thing to say, but he also co-wrote it. But if you watch Mank, you'll know what I mean by it's complicated.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what we're talking about next week. We're talking about 7.
Did you like Mank?
Here's the thing. I have to watch it a second time, and I have to watch Citizen Kane again before I give it, because I don't want to go too deep with because obviously we'll do this again next week. It had its issues.
Okay.
But it was still very fun to watch.
All right.
So yeah, next week, Mank.
I'm excited then.
Citizen Kane.
It seems interesting.
7 and Zodiac. The finale of Fincher.
The grand finale, because these are some of the heavy hitters, son.
Yep.
These are some of the big ones. So I don't know much about Mank, but 7 and Zodiac, like, you talk about some good movies.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I think the only ones that we can compare, like we said, are Fight Club and Social Network.
Right. Yeah. Like these two, I've seen them both.
Yeah.
A couple times. So we've got a lot to talk about, and they're really good. That's all I have to say. They're just really, really good.
Yep. So join us next week. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Wherever you're getting this, like it, share it. Listen, follow us on Instagram. We have multiple accounts, one for this show and one for the network itself.
Follow us. Throw us a follow. Type in Beyond the Screen, and you will see us.
Yes. In Beyond the Screen, if you go to it on Instagram, in the description is the link to our other shows. Cole here runs the Beyond the Screen account, so talk to him directly. I will be there too. I'll be around. So listen, talk to us, follow us, tell us what you want us to watch. We will take recommendations.
Send us a letter in the mail.
Yes, as in the DMs on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a big thing. Other big news from the Beyond. Oh, what am I talking about? From the Greater Than Network. More uploads other than this show. Cole and me are going to be working on other projects for the fall, which we will be happy to announce.
Very happy.
Dude, super excited.
Big stuff coming.
Yeah.
Big stuff, kids.
Yeah. So on this channel, expect a lot more uploads of other things too. Not just me and Cole, but other shows. And in the fall, me and Cole are in a huge projects that we're going to be so hyped to announce off this channel. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bon voyage.